Do not worry.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to a brand new Do Not Worry stream. We got Maki in the house. Maki, you're blocking the Santa Claus. Don't attack Santa. Don't attack Santa Claus. There's a little Santa Claus hanging right there. He's facing him right now. Makuki, don't attack him. Hello, everyone. We're trying to add a little bit of holiday cheer over here. We've got a little... Everything I've added so far has been just a cat magnet in terms of they just want to attack everything. The elf that is in the blue shelf behind me, his legs are supposed to be dangling. His legs are supposed to be like dangling like that. Yeah, we tried dangling the legs for 3 minutes. That was a bad idea. He's now cross-legged. The cats were having too much fun with the dangling legs, attacking the legs. And this little Santa Claus right behind Maki's also been an issue. Maki's always attacking the shit out of Santa Claus. And I got this little thing, this little boot, this little Christmas shoe over here with the little, it makes like little rings. So anytime I move my microphone, Maki thinks I'm trying to play with him. Maki, don't look at it. Maki, don't look at it. Yeah, go back. Go back to making biscuits. And can you guys see the Santa? You guys can see Santa Claus. Look at that. You can see little Santa Claus right. Ooh, there we go. Let me fix that angle real quick. That should be. That should be. No. No, he already wants to attack. You see, don't stop smelling Santa's butt. Stop smelling Santa. I see what you're doing, Maki. No. There was also the same version of this Santa Claus with legs. That idea was nixed. I figured he would attack those legs. I thought that the elf would be high enough. I thought the elf would be high enough and safe, but no, they went for the legs. They went for the legs. So anyways, Jim with an early $10 donation for Maki and Nata. Thank you so much, Jim. That's so generous. Despite everything that is happening here, folks, we will enjoy Christmas. We will enjoy the holidays. And the Pope's visit in a few days. The Pope is coming. Israel's trying. I knew it. I was like, maybe they'll wait till the Pope leaves. Nah, man, they can't fucking keep it in their pants. They want to bomb the shit out of Lebanon before the Pope even gets here. Do you think they'll bomb while the Pope is here? They might. First, before we get into any of that, let me take a second to thank all of our live audiences. I'm coming to you live from Lebanon. Thankfully, a safe place where Israel has not bombed. So I'm not trying to pretend like I am being bombed, although Lebanon is being bombed by Israel. It has been bombed by Israel for the past year, every day since the ceasefire. We've talked about it every week. We talk about it every week. We don't just talk about it when they hit Beirut. We just literally talked about it last week. I was talking about how Israel is building a wall 4,000 meters within Lebanon, and now they've hit Beirut once again. Dahye, the place that they have decimated time and time again. With the excuse of going after Hezbollah. So before we get into all of that, let me just take a second to thank you guys and remind you guys that if you want to support the channel, you can do so on Patreon and via YouTube memberships. If you'll notice up here, bang, we got a goal of 400 YouTube members. We're at 358 YouTube members out of 400. Thank you to all of our lovely members, whether you've been gifted a membership, whether you're one of our weekly members who pays for their monthly subscriptions. Thank you so much. We love all of you. Members and patrons get a weekly exclusive live stream. So look forward to that. They are live for members, and then they re-uploaded onto Patreon for patrons. So thank you to our members, thank you to our patrons. We cannot keep the lights on without you guys. You guys help keep the crew paid. You make sure Maki can get his little treats and Santa toys. Isn't that right, Maki? So we thank you guys so much for the support, but you don't have to do any of that to support the channel, folks. It is more than enough for you guys to simply like the video, subscribe to the channel, engage in the live chat, leave a comment if you're watching the replay. Join our Discord. We have a very lively Discord community, so be sure to pop in there and say hello. Also, consider subscribing to the gaming channel. Do Not Worry Gaming, folks. I'm going to be launching some kind of new game there soon. I'm not sure which one it is. My Dark Souls 2 is calling my name. Dark Souls 2 is calling my name, folks. I think we've had enough fun with these other silly games, even though Sifu has been kind of annoying. Anyways, consider subscribing to the gaming channel. With all that down, folks. Oh, actually, let me take a second to say thank you to some of our lovely patrons, folks. God-tier patrons like Elian Mujabir and Daniel Nechle. Superhero patrons like Mitochondria, Pee-wee Hernan, Khawla and Ahmad, Elias Salibi. Blonde patrons like Kaja, Jor Flipton, Ram, and Dana Ahmad, Unidentified Florida Man, and Bahar. And abductee patrons like Wax Wolf, Bat Pierogi, Yip McYip, Kathleen Kegla, and Daphne and Mello. Thank you guys so much. And members like Komami D, Imran Khan, Emma, Kara, Avinash S, Jimmy Catrone, Hassan Abed, Matt Borsma, Eliza, Rudy Boo, Zoe, and Yayu the viewer. Thank you all so much. Much love to all of our members. And as well, Chris in the chat right now says, thank you, Pope. Like, yes, folks, the Pope is coming to visit Lebanon. They're literally paving the roads. Like, any road they know the Pope is going to drive through, they want to leave a good impression on Lebanon. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to make Lebanon look bad. So they're literally paving the road. They're fixing, like, tunnels that haven't been touched or fixed in decades. It's a big thing every time the Pope comes to visit Lebanon. I remember when John Paul II visited Lebanon when I was a wee little boy. John Paul II. Yes, the same one who was responsible for, like, helping cover up the whole sex scandal stuff. But anyways, I remember waiting in the streets, get a glimpse of the Pope's, what's it called, the Pope Mobile? El Papa Mobile. Oh, El Papa. Il Papi. Dio mio. I just remember Eurotrip every time I hear about the Pope. Dio mio, the Pope is dead. Marina sends it to, and by the way, Marina, our mods, shout out to our mods, folks. Marina, Artful, Chris, Haley, Jim D. Dukers, our lovely moderators. Marina says, if Pope doesn't come, at least we got better roads. Exactly. We do. At least they fixed the roads. Hey, they fixed 2 tunnels next to my house that haven't been touched. They're fixing the road all the way up to Harissa. Again, we try to make a good impression on the Pope. Il Papi. Man, Jim D. Dukers just gifted 5 Do Not Worry memberships. Holy shit. Thank you so much, Jim. We love you. W's in the chat for Jim. Folks, we love Jim. And Comrade Casey in the chat as well. W's in the chat for Comrade Casey. North Star Radio. Was nice talking to you last week, North Star. Love to everybody. Okay. Let us get going. We're just gonna talk about Lebanon, Israel for a little bit. Okay. Let me just rant for like 20-30 minutes about what's going on here. So far, we're going to talk a little bit of everything. Violence in the south, violence in Beirut that happened yesterday, and overall general violations. So breaking, the UN reports that 7,500 airspace violations by Israel and 2,500 ground incursions by its troops in Lebanon during year-long truce with Hezbollah. Does this sound like a truce? 7,500 airspace violations? You know how many days there are in a year? 365. You know how many daily airspace violations you have to do to get to 7,500 when you have 365 days a year? That means daily. They're flying drones over Beirut daily. They're flying over our sovereign airspace. They're bombing the shit out of houses and people. Civilian homes in the south. Okay, I'm sure they're bombing some what they would call justified Hezbollah targets. But they're also bombing the living shit out of civilian places. They're trying to make the south uninhabitable. They don't want people to come back and build their homes. They've also been destroying prefabricated homes. There's been this because people in the south's homes have been destroyed time and time again. A lot of them have resorted to just buying prefabricated homes and like installing them as is. So a lot of those were being set up in the south. A lot of those have been destroyed as well by the IDF throughout the year in multiple villages in the south. So, but just that number, how striking is this number? 7,500 airspace violations and 2,500 ground incursions by its troops in Lebanon. And who's going to do anything about it? Like, this is the UN reporting it. We're supposed to go to the UN to solve these things. Like, hey, Mr. Principal, this guy took my lunch money. Can you help me get my lunch money back? This is the principal right now being like, hey, this bully's like has done 7,500 airspace violations and 2,500 ground incursions. Sheesh. Good luck with that, buddy. It's like, what do you mean good luck with that? Aren't you supposed to help us? Aren't you supposed to put a stop to this? So that's fun, isn't it? Also, we're gonna shout out all Lebanese towns that have been hit by Israel. Shout out to the town of Frun in South Lebanon. An Israeli drone strike hit a car in the town of Frun. So hey, any person that's had any random interaction with Hezbollah in the past, driving around your neighborhood, bam, he's going to get bombed. Expect a strike in your neighborhood if someone who's ever been affiliated with Hezbollah that Israel is currently deeming a threat, even though Hezbollah is inactive, they're not doing shit. They haven't responded to Israel in the past year. Their members keep getting killed. And as Israel tries to kill Hezbollah members, as so they say, Innocent civilians around are getting fucked up. Either killed, either injured, and they're destroying the living fuck out of the country. This is just one small example. The town of Froon. Chris sends a $5 dono and says, I love the fact that the government has the money to fix our shit but chooses not to. Traffic lights that haven't been fixed for years are now working. I know, right? It shows you their priorities. But again, hey, Chris, it's the Pope. It's the Pope, and he's an American Pope. We have to make an extra good impression. Because as you know, the Americans hold our fate in their hands. So an American Pope has come and fixed every road. So I feel like, is my volume too loud? Am I yelling too much? I might be yelling. Oops. Okay, I made it a little bit lower. I feel like I'm yelling. Okay. Here is some footage, video footage of South Lebanon being bombed. Look at this. On Independence Day, actually, on the 22nd, Saturday was our Independence Day, folks. The 22nd of November. There was a massive bombing campaign in Lebanon. Yeah, guys, like the stream. If you're watching live, make sure you're liking the stream. Look at that shit, dude. Insane. Insane. Daily. This is happening daily. So this is an interesting post by Hussein. Let's read that. Many Israeli reports have been talking about a near military escalation. And we've been talking about that. OBS is currently active. What? No, what happened? Oh, so I accidentally I accidentally tried to quit OBS. So many Israeli reports have been talking about a near military escalation against Lebanon, but this not only is misleading, but it can be argued that it is a normalization campaign of what's currently happening, rather than what is expected to take place. The reality is today that we are Zionists already escalating the aggression. They have gradually increased the intensity of the airstrikes and killings, expanded the geographical area of their attacks, brought back the evacuation orders, and are expanding their occupation in southern Lebanon. While this might not create the same shock and awe effect as hundreds of simultaneous airstrikes, it allows Zionists to increase pressure on the government, the public, and the resistance without taking on the political and PR burden of a declared campaign. So essentially, unlike what they did a year ago, Israel might not officially declare war against Lebanon or Hezbollah. They're just going to continue doing these strikes every single day until they get what they want. What is it that they want? They want Hezbollah to disarm. And the government wants Hezbollah to disarm, but no one quite knows how to do it. The government doesn't know how to negotiate with Hezbollah to get them to disarm because they know they're going to refuse, and they're afraid of, like, if they send the military to disarm Hezbollah, they're going to cause a civil war, and they don't want that. And Israel is constantly thinks that they can get rid of Hezbollah by force, but that's what they think they can do against Hamas. They think they can get rid of resistance by force, but how are you going to get rid of resistance by force when you're currently invading our land, when you're currently building a wall 4,000 meters within our border? How do you think you're going to have peace or quell the resistance when you're bombing the living shit out of their land? But then you can say that it's a loop. Well, if Hezbollah gets rid of their weapons, then the Israelis will stop bombing them. But the only reason that South Lebanon was liberated, the north was liberated, is because of Hezbollah, who liberated that area because of whose weapons. So good luck convincing the Shia community to give up their weapons when their weapons have come to their aid, when the Lebanese government has not come to their aid. Who's going to defend the south if the Israelis decide to invade? Is the Lebanese army going to defend South Lebanon? No, they're not. They're going to capitulate. And when you look at what's happening in Gaza, how can you convince anyone to give their weapons away and trust the Israeli government or trust the IDF just blindly? What agreement? Like we have a ceasefire agreement with them, and look at what's happening over the past year. So while this might not create... So it is important to recognize that Zionists have already escalated and continue to escalate. They are normalizing a growing level of escalation and killing, gradually closing the gap between strikes, not war. They want people to slowly get used to more frequent or more serious attacks without officially calling it a war. By repeating these actions over time, the public begins to see them as normal or expected. And that's already happened, by the way. South Lebanon has been attacked every single day for the past year, and most people don't even talk about that or recognize that in Lebanon. In Lebanon, it's pretty fragmented. And to give you guys an example, you think of, for example, if the Bronx were targeted and bombed by a neighboring country, Mexico, let's say, okay? You'd have a bunch of people in the States. Let's say the Bronx was majority was inhabited by either majority black or a minority population. You have a bunch of like racists in the States who would actually be celebrating the fact that the Bronx was being targeted by Mexico. Like, you know what? Like, yeah, who gives a shit? Let him get rid of the problem for us. Like something like that. There's a lot of that sentiment here in Lebanon. There's a lot of anti-Shia sentiment. There's a lot of anti-Hezbollah sentiment. People don't like them. Now a lot of people support the fact, like a lot of people want Hezbollah to give up their weapons, and they're not anti-Shia or like anti-resistance or anything. They're done with like the trouble. They want a chance for peace. But for the most part, a lot of people are celebrating the fact that the South is getting hit, or that Hezbollah is getting hit, or at the very least, they don't give a shit. They never talk about it. They never post about it. They go on. Life goes on in Lebanon as if nothing ever happened. The fact that Israel hit Dahya yesterday, Beirut, some people are gonna start kind of giving a shit because it's getting closer to them and it's getting closer to the life that they know. But even then, a lot of people consider Dahya, because it's Shia majority, not a part of Beirut. They don't give a shit. Again, so people celebrate the fact that Dahya is getting hit, that Hezbollah members are getting killed, and that innocent civilians are getting killed. That's people in Lebanon, I'm telling you. The opinions on Hezbollah and all of that are very fragmented. Again, in Lebanon, we talk about that all the time. Even I will tell you that, yes, I love the idea of a resistance, and I fully support the resistance, but Hezbollah also got pretty corrupt with time. Corrupt with power, drunk with power. So like Hezbollah is by no means perfect, and by no means would I want to live in a government run by Hezbollah, but I also don't want to live under the Israeli boot. But normalization has already happened. Last year, before Hezbollah officially went to war with Israel, they were trading rockets and bombs for like a whole year while the genocide in Gaza was happening. Hezbollah was hitting Israel. Israel kept hitting Lebanon, and we kept wondering, when is this going to escalate? When is this going to escalate into a war? People were afraid to travel because they didn't know that at any moment, like, the airport might close. Like, Israel might decide to bomb the airport and, like, escalate the whole situation. So, the whole thing, we've already been through that, and it already got normalized at that point. Then the war came. It got more serious. It started to affect more people, essentially. People who would try to deny that anything was happening couldn't really deny it. But even then, during the more intense war, a lot of people were still kind of living their lives as if nothing was happening, to be honest with you guys. So now, the same thing is happening, but people, I think, I would say it is already normalized, unfortunately. Unfortunately. A lot of even Lebanese people don't see the Shia community as someone worth mourning. So this gradually removes the distinction between just airstrikes and a fully declared escalation, because while the level of aggression keeps increasing, Zionists continue to warn of a upcoming escalation. In other words, they are closing the psychological and political gap between systemic daily strikes and open escalation. A more violent and intense aggression campaign over the span of a few days could indeed be on the table for Zionists. And we talked about that last week. We talked about how Israel is expanding its attacks on Lebanon, and who knows, man? Who knows? The government can't do shit about Hezbollah's weapons. So what's going to happen? And Hezbollah is not going to give up their weapons. So we're in this endless loop, essentially. Lebanon is in this endless loop. And we've been in this endless loop for years. You could say it's been like a couple of decades at this point. They want Hezbollah to give up their weapons. Hezbollah won't give up their weapons. The government is unable to get Hezbollah to give up their weapons. The government wants to be in cahoots with the US and Israel. Israel wants Lebanon to be in cahoots with them and the US. But they can't get rid of Hezbollah's weapons. So Israel strikes Lebanon, and then eventually Hezbollah responds. And then every 10 years, every 15 years, we're going to have a little mini war until Israel decides to just wipe Lebanon off the fucking map. You know? Is that what's going to happen? Stay tuned. A more violent and intense aggression campaign over the span of a few days could be on the table for Zionists, but the upward trajectory of daily aggressions on Lebanon suggests that we might reach a point where it can be conventionally called war, yet we continue to be threatened by an upcoming escalation. Exactly. We're already at war. Imagine being in a country where you're being bombed every day, you're being attacked every day, and yet it's not called, like, we're not at war. We're not being attacked. It's just, hey, it's just an attack. It's just a targeted strike. Yeah, daily strikes, daily attacks, bombing Lebanon, killing Lebanese people. We're not at war. And then the most ridiculous thing is that it's only considered an escalation if Hezbollah responds. That's the best part. So here's another example of a nice activity that happened in Lebanon not too long ago. The bleeding of South Lebanon continues. One local martyred in an Israeli drone strike on a car in Zautar, Nabatieh. Nabatieh is an area in South Lebanon. 338 Lebanese person martyred since the end of the 66 days war last year. So a man was killed in his car. Israeli drone strike. But the worst part is, that the father and mother of the martyr were a few meters away from the Israeli war crime scene. Like, those are his parents right there. They got to witness their son dying. Here's the father holding and comforting the mother, just a few meters away from where the Israeli strike happened, killing him. Guys, okay, let's say even if this guy wasn't Hezbollah, let's say this guy was part of Hezbollah. They're inactive. They're not on duty, man. You can't just go around killing people that are part of a resistance force. Because of you, Hezbollah wouldn't exist, again, unless if the Israelis hadn't invaded Lebanon twice. Hezbollah would have no need to exist. So imagine just being killed for being part of the resistance to try to defend your own country. How fucking batshit crazy is that? Chris sends $2 and says we're only at Harb when they hit Christian areas. Exactly. It's only considered war. Lebanese people will only really give a shit once it hits like Christian areas or areas where Christians frequent. So the parts of Beirut that are only Muslim areas, Christians aren't going to care. Especially a lot of the right-wing Christians. They're not going to give a shit. And again, in some cases, they might even celebrate it. But once Christians are affected, holy shit, folks, we're at war. So thank you for that, Chris. Chris, you're a Christian, so you know what we're talking about here. Hadi Hashim tweeted this out. Still on Independence Day, Israel turned Lebanon into one continuous plume of smoke, strikes stretching from the southern border all the way to the Bekaa. By the way, is beautiful. I went there a few months ago with Demi. We went and spent like a weekend there at like a nice little like farm. It was beautiful. Beautiful area. We went and walked around like a large, beautiful area. Like I remember sharing some pictures of it on Twitter. Fucking beautiful area. And yeah, they're bombing everything right now, man. Look at this. Just look at this. Look at this beautiful, gorgeous land of ours, man. Look what they're doing to it. And this is another message from Ibrahim Majid. I thought I would read this. This is also about Lebanese independence. Lebanon celebrates its so-called Independence Day, but the reality is far from independence. The country remains politically, economically, and militarily occupied by the United States and Israel. I never believed in this independence they taught us in school. We were told that France gave Lebanon its freedom, but real independence is never given, it is taken, and Lebanon truly never took it, or never truly took it. The foreign flag simply changed. The methods of control evolved. The occupation became more polished, more hidden, but no less real. Israel still occupies Lebanese land in the south and continues killing Lebanese civilians. So tell us, what kind of independence allows your territory to be seized, your sovereignty violated, and your people murdered? If we're being honest, the closest Lebanon ever came to real independence wasn't in 1943. It was on May 25, 2000, when the resistance forced the Israeli army to withdraw from Lebanese land by force. That day, not the one in the textbooks, was the only moment Lebanon actually reclaimed something with its own hands. And that is thanks to Hezbollah. Hezbollah and their weapons kicked the Israelis out. So, and yeah, we've never celebrated Independence Day here in Lebanon. Because yeah, when we were invaded by the French, even when the French left, we were technically invaded by the Syrian by the Syrian government for many years, and we kicked them out in like the early 2000s, you know, by protesting, and the Syrians left, but like we're always under some kind of control. Now it's under the US and Israeli control. Like we're literally being bombed by Israel every single day. How can you celebrate your Independence Day under such circumstances? But Ibrahim Majid sort of said it perfectly. This is an article according to Ynet Global by Itamar Eichner. It says Gaza, Lebanon, and Iran. Israel prepares for renewed conflict and questions U.S. grasp of stakes. Israel sees ongoing violations by Hamas and Hezbollah. Yeah, that's what we're seeing. Violations by Hezbollah. What violations? That they're still beyond the Litani River? So that gives them a reason to fucking bomb the shit out of us. On paper, Israel is under ceasefire arrangements with Hamas in the Gaza Strip and Hezbollah in Lebanon. In practice, both fronts saw significant attacks on Saturday, including an Israeli strike that killed a senior Hamas military operative in Gaza and airstrikes deep inside Lebanon's Bekaa Valley. A third front, Iran, continues to loom, with Israeli officials increasingly concerned that Tehran is preparing for the next round of confrontation. So they basically want to keep all wars going. Netanyahu has no other way to stay in power and to avoid fucking prison than to bomb every country in the fucking area. Israel has recently intensified strikes against Hezbollah, reflecting frustration over what Jerusalem views as the Lebanese government and army's failure to enforce the ceasefire terms and disarm the terrorist organization. Israeli attacks have focused on areas north of the Litani River, the Bekaa Valley, and parts of southern Lebanon. All parts that they want, by the way. They want the whole country. So yeah, because we haven't disarmed Hezbollah and because because they haven't moved all of their operations north of the Litani River, they find that that is an excuse to bomb the living shit out of us and murder people on a daily basis, even though it's our fucking land. American engagement is more limited than in past rounds, prompting criticism from international actors who say Washington is not monitoring the agreement's implementation closely enough. The arrival of a new U.S. ambassador to Lebanon, Michel Issa, has raised expectations in Jerusalem that Washington will press Beirut to take a firmer stance. The United States also canceled a planned visit to Washington by Lebanon's military chief after he referred to the Israeli army as the enemy. Well, of course they're the enemy. Al-Adu al-Israeli always has been, always will be, baby. Hell yeah. Again, guys, as a Lebanese citizen, if I get like if there's an Israeli stamp on my passport, I'm not allowed to come back into the country. It is literally illegal for me to be in communication, to do anything with Israelis. Israeli officials point to structural problems within the Lebanese armed forces. A large part of the force is drawn from Shiite communities, making direct confrontation with the Shiite Hezbollah politically and socially difficult. Exactly. A lot of the military itself is Shia. You're not going to be able to have them face their own brothers. And in many cases, Hezbollah is more adept in fighting and on-the-ground warfare than the Lebanese military. They've had way more practice. They took out fucking ISIS. Hezbollah took out ISIS and defended the southern border time and time again. They have real combat experience. The Lebanese military, bless their heart, can't really do much. You know what I mean? Even their diet. At some point, when the Lebanese government was so fucking broke that they cut out meat from the Lebanese military's diet. They were eating beans and rice every day. Can you imagine the shits? Can you imagine the shits that the Lebanese military had to go through every day, fucking slamming beans and rice and fucking lentils and rice? Lentils and rice, beans and rice. No meat for months. They might have brought back the meat at this point, but holy fuck, man. That's what we're dealing with. But hey, beans and rice is good, and lentils. Shit, I'm not shitting on that. I love that stuff. Don't get me wrong. Israeli officials point to structural problems within the Lebanese armed forces. Yes, we talked about that. Salaries are another challenge. Lebanese soldiers earn about $200 a month. Exactly, while Hezbollah fighters earn roughly triple that amount. Many soldiers work second jobs and have little incentive to challenge the group. There's a Lebanese comedian called Nour got into a lot of trouble for making the joke that went viral on social media for some reason. He was saying that like a lot of the delivery drivers, just like in the States, you guys have Grubhub, Uber Eats, etc. In Lebanon, a lot of military soldiers, because they're on $200 a month, especially after the hyperinflation that hit. Lebanon is going through insane hyperinflation. It's been a few years now, so their salary devalued immensely to $200 a month. So they have no more purchasing power. A lot of soldiers work as delivery drivers in Lebanon. Half the time I order food, it might be a Lebanese military member, and it's happened. Like some of them have told me, like, yeah, I'm a soldier. What's up? You know what I mean? They work as delivery drivers as their second job. So because that comedian Nour had made that joke, and he didn't make it to make fun of the military in any way. He was trying to raise awareness. They're like, yo, they're so badly paid that they have to work as delivery drivers. He was actually trying to raise awareness about the issue, but like the Lebanese government got upset and the military got upset that like he actually got brought into questioning. This is Lebanon has no freedom of speech. Like, you know, like I can say fuck Israel all I want, but just because he made a joke that was interpreted to be anti-military, he was brought in for questioning. He ended up being fine, etc. But like, yeah, that one joke about, I can't remember what it was. The honey mustard something. Insane shit. So yeah. Let me get back to this article. Lebanon's broader economic crisis and fears of state collapse or civil war further constrain decision-making. Exactly, the fear of civil war. Like I said, if the Lebanese army has to turn against Hezbollah and Hezbollah turns their weapons against the Lebanese military and Lebanese citizens, then fucking all-out mayhem. All-out mayhem, forget about it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no shot. So, Hezbollah continues to exploit this environment to expand its influence and smuggle weapons into Lebanon. Syria has attempted to interrupt some shipments since the Assad regime weakened, but it remains unable to fully prevent them. Israel's stated approach is to avoid waiting for violations to escalate and to respond forcefully when they occur. In recent days, the Israel Defense Forces have carried out a sustained wave of strikes, killing 2 Hezbollah operatives and targeting additional sites. Hezbollah has warned it will not tolerate further Israeli attacks, and the IDF is preparing for several days of fighting if the group escalates. And so far, Hezbollah has not escalated. They've done shit. They've not responded to anything. Israel would prefer to apply the Lebanese model in Gaza, but conditions there are more complicated. The United States wants to move the second phase of the ceasefire framework. Israel is resisting, citing Hamas's failure to return the bodies of 3 slain hostages. Israeli officials say the group has not made serious efforts to locate and transfer the remains. God, fuck you, man. They've already returned the fucking hostages. Give it a fucking minute, will you? Israel has adopted a policy of responding firmly to any violation in the Strip to signal that Hamas will not be allowed to reconstitute its capabilities. After terrorists crossed the yellow line, a restricted zone, and opened fire in separate incidents, the IDF launched widespread strikes. So anyways, there's also rumors that they want to kill the supreme leader in Iran. Like, the shit's going fucking crazy. The King Coho says, praying for Lebanon. Thank you, King Coho. Thank you. There was live news coverage, and the reporter was right next to a strike. Right, happened right live. Journalists caught close to Israeli strike in southern Lebanon. Damn, yo. Just casual strikes. Casually bombing. Making people live in terror, making people live in fear. They'll claim that they're fighting. This was a weapons cache. We found weapons there. There's a Hezbollah general lives there. There's whatever they say. Who gives a shit? Who's gonna double check it? Who gives, like, you know what I'm saying, dude? Like, there's this just, it's fucking insane. Like, I don't even know what to say anymore, man. Like, there's literally a thing here that I'm gonna read that drives me fucking insane. So this was the attack in Beirut that happened yesterday, in Dahya again. Even to some Lebanese people, Dahya doesn't even count as Lebanon. People call it like Iran, a second little baby Iran. That's how dehumanizing this shit is. Here's a picture. When they say targeted strike, by the way, look at how targeted does this look, by the way. Does this look like a targeted strike? Look at all the fucking debris. Look at all the fucking damage. 5 people were killed. 30 injured. How is this a targeted strike? So, breaking in a major escalation, Israeli warplanes launched an airstrike targeting the Dahya district of the Lebanese capital of Beirut. This is what it looked like from far. This is what it looked like from a nearby balcony. Look at that. So this guy's kind of crazy. I like following him. It's just kind of fun. But like, this guy is always like ringing alarm bells and has like good takes and sometimes horrible takes. This is what he's saying about Hezbollah now. Elijah Magnier. He hates Israel, by the way, for the record. He fucking hates Israel. Says, if Hezbollah doesn't warn Israel and prepare for a precise retaliation, then Israel will assassinate a Hezbollah operative or commander daily. Hezbollah is confronted with a new reality. Israel claims that it has targeted Commander Saeed Haytham, aka Abu Ali Tabatabai, but no independent confirmation is available yet. So what this guy's claiming right now, basically, if Hezbollah doesn't warn Israel and prepare for a precise retaliation, then Israel will assassinate the Hezbollah operative or commander daily. But if Hezbollah, that's the thing. Lebanon is so fucked right now, because if Hezbollah retaliates, they're literally inviting another war to Lebanon, a country that is on its knees, that cannot handle it economically. We can't handle it. The country's economy is always close to fucking collapse. We just went through a brutal war a year ago. Massive damage to our infrastructure, as always. The Pope is coming soon. You got Christmas coming. You got people coming right now. Like, we cannot afford another war. So if Hezbollah responds and retaliates, then the whole world will give Israel carte blanche to fucking fuck up Lebanon. They're going to murder thousands of Lebanese people, just like they did a year ago. No one's going to stop them. They're going to demand that Hezbollah gives up their weapons. We're going to do the whole song and dance again. We're going to do the whole song and dance again. And if Hezbollah doesn't retaliate, as they haven't been doing for the past year, Israel is going to keep bombing the shit out of them, bombing the shit out of Lebanon, taking more land in the south, building more and more of that wall that has taken up 4,000 meters within Lebanon. What happens? What do we do? Someone tell us. Can someone in the chat solve this for us? How do we solve it? How do we solve it? Or does Hezbollah give up their weapons? Do we trust Israel? Is that what we do? Should we trust the Israeli government? Do we trust the American government? Friends of the Middle East, friends of Arabs, friends of Muslims. Do we trust them and go like, you know what? Let's give up the weapons. Let's give up our weapons. And even if there's a huge portion of Lebanese people that want Hezbollah to give up their weapons. How do you convince Hezbollah to give up their weapons? By force? With the military? Do you guys see what, like, the Lebanese situation is extremely fucking confusing and very, very difficult. It's very difficult. Everyone's there. It's a Mexican standoff. It's like everyone's standing there. This, okay, you move, no, you move, no. You give up your weapons. No, I'll give up. Like, it's like, you know, but Israel and the US are actually holding the guns. Lebanon is, we're actually literally using our fingers. We're holding up our fingers, and Israel and the US are holding up actual guns to our heads while we're holding up these little fingers. Being like, hey, we're pretending to be part of the Mexican standoff. But that's where we're at. Marina says, I don't know what to say, honestly. Everything feels like too much. Jim D. Dukers says, disarming will never happen. LSD Amorino says, don't give up your sovereignty. Don't disarm. Well, but that's where we're at now. Some people blame Hezbollah for not disarming. Because like, hey, if you're disarmed, Israel will stop bombing us. But if Hezbollah actually fully disarms, like, is Israel going to take down that wall that they've been building? Are they going to take it down, or are they always going to be like, well, we need to keep a presence in South Lebanon because, you know, you never know what can rise, and we never know. So, you know, these Hezbollah cells might wake up in a few years and decide to attack the kibbutz in the north. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? How do we trust them? What do we do? What do we do? Right now, where we're at right now is Lebanon is going to keep getting bombed every single day. People are going to get killed in Lebanon every single day for the next year, 2, 3, 4. I'm really not sure. But we're in this for the long haul. Let me get rid of the chat here. It's looking a little busy. This is a video from on the ground. So does that look like a targeted strike to you, man? Look at this. Look at the damage. This is fucked up. The whole block is fucking destroyed. Are you kidding me? They destroyed the whole block. McGee says they will not give the land back. Exactly, they're not going to give the land back. So what do? What do Lebanese people do? And even, like, let's be real, our resistance can't take out Israel. The only way we can take out Israel is the international community needs to help out, or the rest of the Arab states need to help out. The Arab states are bought by the Americans and the Israelis. They're not going to help. The rest of the world is too cowardly to do anything about it. They'll recognize Palestine as a state. They'll put out statements. They'll condemn the Israelis, but they won't do shit about it. They won't do anything about it. So Lebanon is... We're a fucking pawn. We're a fucking pawn. And we're such a small fucking country. We're such a small, inconsequential country, man. We're like 5 million people that live here. It's a tiny fucking country where most people are fucking poor at this point. No one's got any fucking money. And like the whole world is not letting us live. Can you imagine like starting a business or like trying to predict your life? Trying to get a fucking job when you don't even know if your country's going to be at war, when your country's being bombed every single day, and every day there's a threat of escalation. Hey, threat of escalation. And then you got internal struggles. The government and the military. Should we disarm Hezbollah? Hezbollah doesn't want to disarm. And then you have... It's been my whole life. Lebanon has been like this my whole life. From political assassinations to like little wars and skirmishes and explosions and bombs and people dying, and like it's nonstop. It's nonstop. So yeah, then Elijah clarifies. He says, for Hezbollah, responding will lead to a wave of devastating raids, similar to Gaza, with thousands of displaced Shia. Not responding will increase Israel's appetite for daily assassinations in Beirut and elsewhere. Exactly. It's a lose-lose situation. Hezbollah has never been cornered like this before. They got really fucked over in that last war. Since the Pager attack, they've taken a lot of damage. They've seen what's happened in Gaza. Nasrallah was killed. Like, the whole thing is just... And they don't know what to do. They're desperately trying to hold on to power. They're a shell of their former selves. But they're still trying to keep like a hold on the Lebanese government, which they shouldn't, in my opinion. They should just act as a resistance. But at this point, the world just wants them gone. They're not gonna. The world, the international community, the United States, Israel is not going to let Lebanon move forward unless they disarm Hezbollah. And how do you disarm Hezbollah? I don't know. And then when you disarm Hezbollah, what's going to happen to Lebanon, given Israel and the U.S.? Who the fuck knows, man? All I know is that the U.S. Embassy, they've taken over a fucking mountain. They have a massive fucking embassy that has taken over a whole fucking mountain here in Lebanon. So U.S. presence here is fucking insane. It's only going to get more entrenched in our politics. Hussein says 5 Lebanese people have been killed, almost 30 injured in the Israeli airstrike on Har Tahrik in Beirut's southern suburbs today. This morning, Israelis killed a Lebanese citizen working on repairing his home in the south. Israelis were the ones that damaged his home. So yeah, sometimes they kill operatives, just like General Tabatabai. Or they kill random people that are fixing their home in the south. And then what do they say? He was a Hezbollah fucking soldier. And then they'll kill him. And who's going to give a shit? Who's gonna stop him? Who's going to get justice for our people? Here's an unexploded rocket from the Beirut attack. One of the missiles did not explode in the Israeli attack on Beirut a short while ago. We have a lot of unexploded Israeli weaponry in Lebanon. In the 2006 war, they even hid explosive devices and toys so that little kids could pick them up and explode. I'm pretty sure the same thing has been reported in Gaza and in Palestine over the years. But there's a lot of unexploded Israeli military equipment in Lebanon. Here's a brand new rocket that did not explode. Yeah, I'll show you guys the embassy if you guys want. We've talked about it before on the show. Phoebe says, Mechanism Committee informed that Israel's assassination will not be considered an escalation unless Hezbollah responds. How fucking crazy is that? In other words, we should die one after another and stay silent, or else the NATO will launch a large-scale war on us. So then again, everything that Israel is doing to Lebanon is not considered an escalation by the international community. It is only considered an escalation when Hezbollah responds. Then when Hezbollah responds by defending themselves, by defending our border, by defending Lebanon, by defending Lebanese sovereignty, by defending themselves from daily Israeli attacks, if Hezbollah responds, they are seen as the aggressor, and they're the ones that are escalating the situation. Tayyib, again, someone explain to me how this is fair. It's like Lebanese people are asked to play this game. You know what I'm saying? We're invited to play a game. We're all playing the game, right? There's a big board. We all get to get our little piece, and we're getting ready to play the board game. But for one reason or another, like the set of rules isn't the same for everyone. The same rules don't apply for everyone. If this character attacks your character, it's fine. But if your character attacks his character, it's not fine. Actually, you get eliminated. So how can you play a game when not everyone plays by the same rules? How can you enjoy that game? How can you call that a fair game? You can't. You can't. And then you have people in these countries trying to build a fucking life, just trying to figure things out every single day, man. What do I invest in? What kind of business do I start? Should I travel? Should I stay here? Can I raise my kids here? Like, do you know how many Lebanese... There are more Lebanese people that live outside of Lebanon than there are in Lebanon. There's way more Lebanese people outside. There's more Lebanese people in Brazil than are in Lebanon. That's how much Lebanese people have had to leave the country. Decade after decade, war after war. It's not all the Israelis' fault. The Lebanese government is corrupt as fuck, but a lot of it has to do with the Israelis. A lot of it has to do with Hezbollah. A lot of it has to do with a lot of shit. Lebanon is just a fucking clusterfuck. A clusterfuck. Internally, externally, geopolitically. Solve everything internationally. Get all the meddling, the international meddling out of Lebanon. Lebanon is still a clusterfuck internally. But like that explains, like I came back to Lebanon. I used to live abroad and I came back because I'm like, nah, I want to live here. I want to, like, I don't want to be one of those other people in the States just contributing to another country that like doesn't need me. I'm like, Lebanon needs me. But then you come here and then Lebanon and everyone else does everything they can to kick you right the fuck out or kill you. Either die or leave. But you can't enjoy your life here. It's impossible to enjoy your life in Lebanon. People who come visit, it's a beautiful country. It's an amazing country. People who come visit on vacation, they get to see that pure side of Lebanon that we all want to see on a daily basis. But the government makes it so hard for you to actually like live a proper life and a dignified life. Not that I'm saying that you can live a dignified life in the fucking States or anything like that, where you don't get any fucking healthcare. And if you want to get healthcare, you have to pay like $1,000 a month. And then you have like ICE agents throwing you in fucking cars. Like, I'm not talking about that kind of dignity. But like something, man. But we can't even defend ourselves. Like, what are we playing? I don't like this game anymore. I just want to quit at this game. I just want to quit this game. Can we stop playing this game? Can we reset? Can we reset the rules so that they're equal for everyone? Why does one country get to bomb another country and suffer no consequences, while if anyone else responds to them, our lives have to be ruined? We're real people here. You know, I'm trying to fucking host a podcast here. I'm trying to host a stream. I don't want to talk about the war. This brings us back. Like, this reminds me of like a year ago when a lot of you guys were introduced to our podcast, is when like a clip of ours went viral. Me and Nadim sitting there being like, are we going to die? Are they going to do to us like what they did in Gaza? Holy shit. It was a very similar time to this. Like, you felt like war was getting near, but this time, if the thing of like they're not actually going to declare war, they're just going to try to normalize this level of violence every day. I also don't want to become a person that ignores it. Like, if this does become normalized, what does this say about like me, man, and about like our people that within my own country, my own people are dying, are being killed by a foreign enemy on a daily basis, and I'm supposed to just go on about my daily routine. I'm gonna go to the gym today. I'm gonna play some video games. I'm gonna stream. While literally a 15-minute drive away from me, people are getting fucking killed. I don't want to do that. I don't feel comfortable doing that. And I don't want to leave Lebanon. I came back here. My whole life is here. So, like, whoa, what do we do? Swan says, Anthony, if you weren't born and grew up in Lebanon, I did grow up in Lebanon. I was born in the States, but I moved back here when I was like 1, and then I was raised here, and then I moved back to this. I went back to the States, or I lived in the States when I was 17 years old. Then I came back here when I was 25 or something. So I lived in the States like a total of like 9 years in my life. But it's my land. I want to live here. Yeah, it's like Raimi says, it's your land, man. It's your home, and it's your human right to live in peace. Exactly. We all just want to live in peace and prosper, man. But they won't let us. They won't let us do it. Here's what the president had to say, the Lebanese president, President Joseph Aoun. The targeting of the southern suburb is further proof that Israel pays no attention to repeated calls to stop its aggression. It refuses to implement international resolutions and rejects all efforts and initiatives aimed at putting an end to the escalation. We talked last week about the Lebanese president, the Lebanese government writing a letter to the UN to complain. They sent a formal complaint to the UN complaining that Israel is building a wall 4,000 meters within the Lebanese border in the south. That's all the president can do at this point. And don't forget, the president, as much as we respect our president, Joseph Aoun, do not put me in prison. I am not criticizing you, our great leader. Our great leader. There's not much that they can do, man, but they signed that peace treaty with the Israelis. They agreed to the ceasefire. They agreed to try to disarm Hezbollah, and now this is what they have to deal with. Like, you made your bed. You can't complain like, the Israelis are targeting the southern suburb, and it's like, but isn't that what you agreed to? But again, the president was like, the only reason he's president is because other governments deemed it okay for him to be president. The government, this is just another transition government. It's installed by other countries. They don't offend anyone. They're just going to try to keep the boat going. But this government is incapable of disarming Hezbollah. So again, this government is just going to lead us to more of the same. Nothing's going to change. Nawaf Salam, who is the prime minister, for some reason, Google Translate's not working here right now. Let me try to get you the translation from my phone. Bam. I'm gonna read it off my. For some reason, it wasn't working on my computer. Let me read it off my phone, but show you the Arabic version. Look at this Arabic, guys. Look at this Arabic. The attack on the southern suburbs of Beirut today requires uniting all efforts behind the state and its institutions. Protecting the Lebanese people and preventing the country from sliding into dangerous territory is the government's priority at this critical juncture. It will continue to work through all available political and diplomatic channels with brotherly and friendly nations to safeguard the Lebanese people, prevent any open escalation, ensure a halt to Israeli aggression and its withdrawal from our land, and secure the return of our prisoners. Experience has proven that the only way to establish stability is through the full implementation of Resolution 1701, extending the state's authority over all its territory with its own forces and enabling the Lebanese army to carry out its duties. Let me just double check Resolution 1701. I think it means that Hezbollah has to Resolution 1701, Litani River. So let's check out the UN Resolution Council 1701. So the prime minister is basically, he's saying, unless we disarm Hezbollah, nothing's going to change. So we need to band together and disarm them. That's kind of what he's trying to say. And do what the Israelis want. United Nations Security Council Resolution 1701 is a resolution that was intended to resolve the 2006 Lebanon war. The resolution calls for a full cessation of hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah, the withdrawal of Hezbollah and other forces from Lebanon, south of the Litani. Yep, that's it. The disarmament of Hezbollah and other armed groups, and the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Lebanon with no armed forces other than UNIFIL and Lebanese military south of the Litani River, which flows about 29 kilometers north of the border. It emphasizes Lebanon's need to fully exert government control and calls for efforts to address the unconditional release of abducted Israeli soldiers. So, the Lebanese prime minister is indirectly blaming Hezbollah for what happened, essentially. It's like, unless we fully implement Resolution 1701, which is disarm Hezbollah, make sure there's no Hezbollah presence beyond north of the Litani River, which is, again, Lebanese land, and unless the Lebanese military cannot, spread it, control the area, essentially, then we're not going to have peace. Chris sends $2 and say that they CC Trump in the letter. Oh, I'm sure. The angry complaint, I'm sure Trump was CC'd in that, Chris. And thank you for the generous donos, Chris. Stop sending donos, Chris. All right, thank you. Enough, and I will time you out if you send any more. I do not want to time you out. So that's what's happening here, folks. Good times. That's what Nawaf Salam had to say. Hana Jabir. So this is another just good tweet talking, sort of expanding on what we've been talking about. Israel did not escalate. It carried out a terrorist attack deep inside Beirut's southern suburbs, a targeted assassination executed in the middle of a civilian neighborhood. 5 people have been reported killed and at least 25 injured. 30 at this point. This is state terrorism, plain and unvarnished. Let it be known, the United States was not a bystander, it was involved. A senior American official told Axios the United States has known for days that Israel was planning to escalate in Lebanon. If Washington had advanced knowledge of an attack in one of the most densely populated civilian districts of Beirut and did nothing to prevent it, that is not neutrality, it is complicity. No ifs or buts. Yeah, but the problem is they don't consider Dahye as a civilian neighborhood. It is constantly described in the media as a Hezbollah stronghold. Hezbollah stronghold, like, you know what I'm saying? So they have, the media has been, and international governments have successfully been able to detach Hezbollah from the rest of the Lebanese population. And there are some, and to be fair, a lot of people in Lebanon do that as well. A lot of Lebanese people don't consider Hezbollah as Lebanese people. They consider them as like, you're just Iranians, you're just Iranian proxies working for the benefit of Iran. You could care less about Lebanon. And in fact, you want to take over Lebanon. And you have some Hezbollah community members who are also very much entrenched in the Hezbollah ideology and could care less about the rest of Lebanon. I've seen Twitter arguments that you would not believe that the people that were arguing are from the same country. Kind of like Republicans and Democrats in the States, but way more complex, way more different ideologically. Okay? But there is that kind of disconnect. It is complicity. No ifs or buts. They could have stopped it, but they chose to let it happen. They blessed the murder of Lebanese civilians. Again, to them, to Americans, Dahye is a Hezbollah stronghold. Hezbollah stronghold, you just imagine a movie scene of like a bunch of henchmen carrying like weapons and boxes, and to them, any target in Dahye, where you can just say Hezbollah, X, whatever, that's it, it's done. It's just branded Hezbollah, just like you brand anything Hamas. We know how this works. We know how this works. They have completely dehumanized Dahye in the eyes of the world. And it's also kind of dehumanized in the eyes of some Lebanese people in Lebanon. Just keeping it 100 with y'all. Chris says, I'm a mod, you can't time me out. Really? I can put you in timeout, actually. I can. I do have that power, Chris. Don't test me. The strike targeted senior Hezbollah commander Said Haytham Ali Tabatabai. There is still no confirmation on his fate, but regardless what Israel claims, this was an operation deliberately carried out inside a civilian area, with civilians absorbing the cost. This attack is not an isolated act. It is part of a coordinated pressure campaign aimed squarely at Lebanon's presidency, its military leadership, and the political establishment. The message is blunt. Accept American demands, move against Hezbollah, facilitate disarmament, or Israel will keep striking Lebanese territory with full U.S. cover. Again, that's what we've been talking about for the past hour. That is where we're at right now. Either we disarm Hezbollah, risk a fucking Lebanese civil war. They want Lebanese people to turn against their own resistance. But for them to do that, for Lebanese people to turn against their own resistance, you need to convince the Lebanese populace that the Lebanese resistance is the cause of all of our problems, not Israel. To be fair, Hezbollah is the cause of a lot of problems in Lebanon. A lot of tensions, a lot of violence. They get in the way of investigations. They got in the way of the port investigation. They have killed Lebanese politicians in the past via assassinations. Ain't no denying that. Some people might deny. Some people might say the Israelis did it or the Syrians did it as a cover or something. Listen. Nothing about this resembles regional stability. It is coercion, it's intimidation, it is the deliberate use of Lebanese civilians as leverage to force political outcomes in Washington and Tel Aviv. Oh no, sorry. It's the deliberate use of Lebanese civilians as leverage to force political outcomes Washington and Tel Aviv have failed to achieve for decades, and they will fail again. Washington has already admitted its intentions. Tom Barak stated openly weeks ago that the United States is not arming the Lebanese army to defend Lebanon from Israel, only to push it into internal confrontation. Exactly. They're arming the Lebanese military just enough to face Hezbollah, not to face the Israelis. And that's why, again, the Lebanese military doesn't own jets. We don't own any jets because we're not supposed to be able to defend ourselves against Israel. We'll never be able to defend ourselves against Israel. They literally want us to be Israel's fucking dog. Okay, we're supposed to be Israel's fucking bitch. That's what's happening. The goal is not sovereignty or security. It is to remake Lebanon through pressure, division, and fear. So let's name it clearly. A terrorist attack carried out by Israel, advanced US knowledge and silent endorsement, 5 killed, 30 injured, a senior commander targeted inside of a civilian neighborhood, a strategy designed to force Lebanon toward internal conflict. There is no ambiguity here. 2 states acting with impunity and Lebanese civilians paying the price yet again. Can you imagine if a civil war broke out in Lebanon right now between the army and Hezbollah? Can you guys fucking imagine what would happen? How devastating that would be? I don't even know what to say anymore. John Fetterman, that little piece of fucking shit. That piece of shit. This fucking guy actually put out this tweet. This is a real tweet. The man with the fucking stroke. I wish that stroke were way more damaging, John Fetterman. I don't know what the fuck to say. يا ريت اخذتك. يا ريت اخذتك مع هالستروك يا اخو الشرموطه. هالجلطه. ان شاء الله يطلع لك جلطه تانية اليوم. هلا يطلع لك جلطه هيك انت ونايم. على السريع. بوم ان اوت. جلوطه على السريع. كل خيريه يا اير. So that's what he John Fetterman shared this New York Post article. Says Israeli says it killed Hezbollah's #2 leader in Lebanon airstrike. And John Fetterman shares it and says the IDF now offers its special home delivery on Sundays with the Israeli flag. So I replied in kind, fuck you, innocent people were injured and killed, you donkey. This was very mild. I just wanted to say something about his stroke, that perhaps the stroke wasn't as strong as I would have liked it to be. But I've had my Twitter banned before, so I just pointed out the obvious. But fuck you, John Fetterman, you fucking idiot. So yeah, that's how American politicians talk about my country. They're talking about Israel like it's fucking Amazon Prime. They offer home deliveries on Sundays now. Like, what the fuck are we doing here, man? Burp Reynolds. Patron. Wait, did you just delete your message? What happened? Burp Reynolds with a $2 dono, but with a deleted message. I can no longer see what you send. Maybe. Oh, sending love from Philly. There you go. I apologize for Fetterman. Sending love from Philly. I apologize for Fetterman. It's okay, Burp. It's okay. It's not your fault, man. It's not your fault. But Fetterman fooled a lot of people. Fetterman fooled a lot of people back in the day. I can't remember what I thought of him, but like, yeah, what a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. Okay, we don't need to watch what Netanyahu said about that. And that's that for Lebanon being attacked by Israel, folks. I think it went a bit long, but I just had to rant a little bit. We're in an unwinnable situation right now. Literally, the world wants the Lebanese military to disarm Hezbollah. By doing that, you're literally risking civil war. The Lebanese military isn't even prepared to disarm Hezbollah. So either they want the Lebanese people to turn against one another and fucking kill ourselves, or allow Israel to do the killing for us and kill Lebanese people nonstop as often as they want, whenever they want, however they want, with the blessing of the blessing and funding of the international community. This is the game we're playing. Those are the rules, apparently. Not everyone plays by the same fucking rules. And yeah, Maki, what do you think? Would you like to offer some hard-hitting political analysis of the situation? What's going on here, Maki? Someone just gift some memberships? What's going on? Nola Magnolia has just come in with 5 Do Not Worry memberships. Holy shit. Thank you so much, Nola. 5 Do Not Worry memberships just gifted. Holy shit. W's in the chat for Nola, folks. We've got 10 extra memberships today, so we are now at 368. Let me update that real quick. 368 members out of 400. Do you guys have any solutions in the chat for this whole Hezbollah thing? What would you guys like? Hezbollah, Israel? What would you do? What would you do? Okay. Let's move on to something else. Let's move on to something lighter, shall we? What would you do? Ooh. Okay, I want to watch. So I found this is okay. We're gonna do this another time. Okay, I'm gonna do a whole TikTok I'm going to do a whole live stream where we're going to watch the full TikTok live between the Michael Jackson impersonators, between Michael Trapson and Fabio Jackson. This is going to be this week, okay? Sometime this week. I'm not shitting you. I'm doing another Michael Jackson impersonator live stream. I don't give a shit what you guys think. If 6 people are in here watching with me live, then the 7 of us, along with Fabio and Michael Trapson, are going to have the best time ever. But I'm watching this entire thing this week. So free up your calendar. Get ready for some more Michael Jackson impersonator lore. We're going to watch this whole fucking live stream. And there's another 11-minute live stream where they're hanging out with Rico MJ, another Michael Jackson impersonator, but it's only 11 minutes long. But this is over an hour. An hour and 10 minutes of 2 Michael Jackson impersonators going at it. I can't wait. This is happening this week. So be ready for that. Okay, what else? What is there that's fun? Okay, Sarah Horowitz, let's do that. And then there's all the Zionist stuff. Oh my God. Okay. Let's do Sarah Horowitz. I've actually not watched any of her videos in full. This is the Obama speechwriter who's been saying the most unhinged shit, apparently. And like more and more of her takes are going online. So let's talk about her a little bit. Let's talk about that crazy lady, shall we? Jim D. Duker sends another $5 for Maki money. Well, thank you so much, Jim. That's way too generous of you. You got to stop. Jim, also, please stop. And even if you're a mod, I can stop you guys. I can stop you. Oh, no. Wrong one. Sorry. What would you do? I think I got all of them. So we have some insane takes, but for some reason, mostly women. We got a crazy Zionist lady segment right now, folks. Insane Zionist ladies. It's gonna be fun. Starting with, hello, I'll set this up properly for a segment, for a clip. What would you do? I might want to watch one of her full interviews. That's also another thing I want to do. Babylon Marduk, hello. Obviate says we got your back. Well, thank you. Kate from Canada says, I'm invested in this MJ impersonator world now. Well, thank you. Hidden Iron says, follow your interest. Not joking, seriously. I'm going to do the Michael Jackson thing. I'm going to do it. Gato says, look at my suggestion on Discord. Guys, I have not been on Discord in a minute. Let me tell you guys. I'm sorry if I'm behind on stuff. I need to check the recommendations. Okay, so Sarah Horowitz, former Obama speechwriter. I think she wrote for Michelle Obama. I'm guessing Barack as well. I'm not sure. Let me move myself over here. I feel like I'm in the way. Kapang. So you guys have definitely seen this lady and her videos at this point. She's been going viral like fucking crazy. Former Obama speechwriter Sarah Horowitz laments to Jewish Federation that people are finding content from Al Jazeera and Nick Fuentes on social media and seeing videos of the carnage in Gaza. I love that she's equating Al Jazeera and Nick Fuentes. Al Jazeera, legitimate news organization that covers news, and Nick Fuentes, fucking racist, anti-Semite, KKK piece of shit that hosts a fucking podcast. But okay. Great false equivalency over there. Holocaust education has backfired in part as people see Palestinians as Jews victims, she adds. They think the lesson of the Holocaust is you fight the big powerful people hurting the weak people. Okay, so let's watch this. This is fucking insane. I saw a bit of this clip.
Before then, there have been huge shifts in America on how people think about Jews and Israel. And I think that since October 7th, but really before then, there have been huge shifts in America on how people think about Jews and Israel. And I think that is especially true of young people. So we are now wrestling with
So after October 7th, people look at Jews differently. You think maybe it's because, you know, a country that claims to be representative of all Jews is committing a genocide, lady?
New, I think, generational divide here. And I think that's particularly true in that social media is now our source of media. And this, you know, it used to be that the media you got in America was American media, and it was pretty mainstream. You know, it generally didn't express extreme anti-Israel views. You had to go to a pretty weird book.
It just expressed extreme anti-Arab worldviews, anti-Muslim sentiment, you know, fear-mongering. Nothing against the Jews.
Store to find global media, extreme anti-Israel views. You had to go to a pretty weird bookstore to find global media and fringe media. But today, we have social media, which is a global medium, right? It is shaped, its algorithms are shaped by billions of people worldwide.
People can actually hear what Palestinians actually think. What do we do about it? They can't just rely on Americans lying about the Middle East. Actual Arabs can tell them what's going on. We need to stop it. You're welcome, by the way. That's why we're popping off, lady. Shit. The world wants to hear what an Arab thinks about the Middle East. You piece of shit scriptwriter. I'm glad ChatGPT took your fucking job. Hell yeah.
Who don't really love Jews. And so while in the 19 shaped by billions of people worldwide who don't really love Jews. And so while in the 1990s, you know, a young person probably
Again, it has nothing to do with aid if equal. It's all about Israel, you fucking idiot.
wasn't going to find Al Jazeera or someone like Nick Fuentes. Today, those media outlets find them. They find them on their phones. It's also this increasingly post-literate media, less and less text, more and more videos. So you have TikTok just smashing our young people's brains all day long with video of carnage in Gaza.
And your point, you know, what's the lesson to be learned there? When kids watch nonstop carnage in Gaza, what's the lesson that's supposed to be learned?
And this is why so many of us can't have a sane conversation with younger Jews, because anything that we try to say to them, they are hearing it through this wall of carnage. So I want to give data and information and facts and arguments, and they are just seeing...
I want to give data and facts and arguments to support the genocide. And be like, yes, honey, I know it looks bad, but did you know that Hamas builds bases under hospitals? So that's why that hospital was justified to be bombed, okay? And those crying mothers can go fuck themselves?
Of carnage. Because anything that we try to say to them, they are hearing it through this wall of carnage. So I want to give data and information and facts and...
Did you know that Palestinians are raised to believe that as soon as they see a Jewish person in front of them, they'll eat him alive? But you can't hear me because you're just so obsessed. You're just so sad about all the dead kids in Gaza, aren't you? You don't want to listen to reason? You don't want to listen to my data and facts because you're sad that 600,000 people have been butchered? Chris sends another $2 dono and says her last name should be spelled differently. You mean whore? Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, Chris. I see that. I like it.
Arguments and
last one, yes, better be the thank you, Chris. The last one. You said it yourself.
They are just seeing in their minds carnage, and I sound obscene. And you know, I think
yeah, of course you sound obscene. Even, of course you, lady. Like, mom, I just saw 12 beheaded kids in Gaza and Palestine. Like a dad was carrying 2 dead babies with no heads. What does it mean? But honey, please, you gotta just listen to my explanation, okay? The kibbutz, of course, you're gonna sound crazy, lady. I'm sorry. Try to justify genocide all you want. Yes, your daughter's right. You sound like a fucking psychopath.
Unfortunately, the very smart, I think, bet that we made on Holocaust education to serve as anti-Semitism education in this new media environment made on Holocaust. And, you know, I think, unfortunately, the very smart, I think, bet that we made on Holocaust education to serve as anti-Semitism education in this new media environment, I think that is
So you see that? The bet that we made that, like, so to them, Holocaust education was also an anti-Semitism thing. They don't want to teach you about the Holocaust just to show you that, like, it's a horrible thing that happened. And, like, no, the whole thing is about, like, just they're merging it with anti-Semitism. So it's always, they always want to make the two, they want to connect the two forever so that if you ever criticize a Jewish person, they can bring up the fucking Holocaust. Like, dude, that's not how it fucking works. Raise awareness about the Holocaust because it was horrible and it was an injustice to your people, not to also link it to anti-Semitism.
Beginning to break down a little bit. Because, you know, Holocaust education is absolutely essential, but I think it may be confusing some of our young people about anti-Semitism because they learn about big, strong Nazis hurting weak, emaciated Jews, and they think, oh, anti-Semitism is like anti-black racism, right? Powerful white people against powerless black people. So when on TikTok all day long they see powerful Israelis hurting weak, skinny Palestinians, it's not surprising that they think, oh, I know, the lesson of the Holocaust is you fight Israel. You fight the big, powerful people hurting the weak people.
Yes, exactly. You got it. You got it. The lesson of the Holocaust is a powerful, fucking fascist, evil fucking government, racist government, killing people because of their fucking race and religion. And people need to stand with the fucking victim. So she's like, oh no, this Holocaust education backfired. Us teaching people about the Holocaust, no, it's supposed to stop anti-Semitism, but it's taught people about justice and injustice. No, how could we have done that? We accidentally taught our young Jewish kids empathy. We taught them that you need to support the small, weak victim versus the big evil power. No, how do we reverse it? No. Actually, the Holocaust was good. No, don't you see, children? No. Hitler had a point. It wasn't all bad. Like that's what they're about to do at some point. Like that's the road she's going down on. That's the path she's taking currently. That's what she's tempted to say. Just say it. How crazy is that?
In this new media environment, I think that is beginning to break down a little bit because, Holocaust education is absolutely essential. But I think it may be confusing some of our young people about anti-Semitism because they learn about big...
Holocausts are only bad if they happen to Jewish people, okay? If Jewish people are getting killed, yes, they're the victim. Anyone else? No. You gotta wipe everything clean. Everything we taught you, you gotta wipe it clean and think of another context. No, actually, lady, you know what? Your Holocaust education, if you're telling me that young Jewish people are horrified by what's happening, that means good job to your Holocaust education. It actually did something well. It taught kids about right and wrong. Oppressors versus the oppressed. Good. You know what? That's actually fucking good. And I'm glad that oh no, it's backfiring. No. So apparently she's had more takes. So that take went viral. Everyone's been fucking talking about this nonstop. Well, there's more, folks. Someone dug up like an interview she did on a podcast like 9 months ago, which I'm kind of tempted to watch the whole thing. Let me know if you guys are down. Maybe we can dig into it in the second half of this podcast. Drop Site News says it. So here, let's watch this clip. It's a minute and 34.
Are Christianizing the Roman Empire. Who's stopping us? Those Jews who won't convert.
So if you actually look at the two of them, the tropes are kind of the same, right? The tropes, they're saying that the Jews are doing a white genocide. Oh my God, what?
Christians are Christianizing the Roman Empire. Who's stopping us? Those Jews who won't convert. We, the communists, are bringing about the great brotherhood of man and the revolution. And who's stopping us? These capitalist Jews. We, the Germans, are bringing about the great Aryan, racially pure fatherland. Who's stopping us? Race-polluting Jews. Today in America, you see it on the right and the left. On the right, it is we, white Christian Americans, are bringing back white Christian civilization. The only thing stopping us, these Jews who are importing black and brown immigrants to replace white people. That is the bonkers Great Replacement conspiracy, which I'm like, is it more racist or...
Do people blame the Jews for Great Replacement, really? Like, do they think the Jews are importing in black people and minorities? Because I did not know that. Is that what they believe?
More anti-Semitic? I don't know. I think it's kind of equal. And then on the left, you have, we, the great moral majority, are doing anti-racism and anti-colonialism, and the only thing stopping us are these racist colonialist Zionists, aka Jews.
Right. There we go. AKA Jews, of course.
And, Dara Horn, who's brilliant, and I quote all the time, she says, if you think there are sides here, you don't understand what's happening. It's the same thing on both sides. It just takes on slightly different, language and form. It's so easy to say, well, left wing's the problem, the right wing's the problem. Right. But if you actually look at the two of them, the tropes are kind of the same. Right. The right is saying that Jews are doing a white genocide, and the left is saying they're doing a genocide in Gaza. It's like the same. It's like very simple.
The tropes she's calling, she's calling the accusation of doing a genocide a fucking trope. The racists are saying that we're doing a white genocide, which is not real, which is like a made up fucking theory. And then an actual genocide that is happening. Oh, look, they're saying we're doing a genocide against Palestinians. So it's the tropes are the same. This is so offensive, dude. This is so fucking offensive. This lady is so fucking smug. She's so fucking smug. How can you fucking say that? Oh my fucking God, man.
Similar tropes.
Guess who's back?
Similar tropes. Back. So she's talking about like now if someone talks about a genocide, it's like doing an anti-Jewish trope as if like I'm saying, here, go pick up this penny or something. Like I'm saying that Jews are cheap or whatever the fuck. It is not a trope. You're actually committing a fucking genocide. Stop trying to confuse the two. Okay, that's insane. She has more apparently. When I'm trying to make arguments in favor of Israel, I realize I'm talking through a wall of dead children. Her solution, ban cell phones. She wants to ban cell phones? Oh my God.
Instead of entering a post-literate society, and if like all day long your brain is just smashed again and again by TikTok.
Oh, so she's repeating the same thing.
A post-literate society, and if like all day long your brain is just smashed again and again by TikTok with really upsetting carnage in Gaza, then like you're talking and like I'm sorry if this is a graphic thing to say, but like when I'm trying to make arguments in favor, for Israel, I realize I'm talking through a wall of dead children. Like that's what people are seeing. So when I'm like, yo,
but that's literally the same thing that Van Jones said. That's literally the same thing that Van Jones said. Dead baby, dead baby. Oh my God, man. These people are so fucking disgusting. You fucking ghouls. And nothing's changed. Trump is building a fucking hotel in fucking Gaza, man. Israel's building a wall. Like, everything's getting worse. Every day it's getting worse. We bitch and moan about fucking Israel. And every day, they're getting more powerful, expanding their land, taking land in Syria, taking land from Palestine, taking land from Lebanon. And these fucking devils, man, are out there fucking saying horrible shit like this.
but it's 1.5 civilians they're just seeing carnage.
But
right?
that's
like,
the emotional blackmail.
I mean, fair enough.
Emotional blackmail. This guy looks like Joe Russo, director of Avengers. Emotional blackmail? So we're using pictures of dead children to emotionally blackmail people. Okay, got it. Sounds good.
But like again, I mean that's nice, but like again, I'm hearing that through a wall of screaming children. It's like I think it's a harder argument than we're understanding. So I actually really strongly think that like Jewish day schools should absolutely say no child owns a smartphone until senior year. They don't own.
Oh my God. So literally, it's like banning books. It's like banning books from keeping the population of being educated and fighting back against the government. Just don't let them see the carnage. Don't let them see what's going on. Hide the truth. And they want to go back to the 1950s. They want to go back to when Israel was committing its genocide, away from prying eyes, away from cameras, when they were able to get away with it. But that's what's great about cell phones, lady, you fucking psychopath, is that we get to see, the world finally gets to see Israel for what it is in real fucking time. There's no more hiding. There's no more hiding. Everyone knows what you are. Everyone knows what you support. You sick fuck. You can sit there. And that's the thing too. Like, they like to pretend that they're the civilized ones because they wear these nice clothes and they get on the news and then they'll point at people that wear turbans, or they'll wear a abaya, they'll wear a long thing or cover their hair, and they'll try to paint them as less than. You are the fucking barbarians. You are the fucking animals. You can dress, you can wear all the nice suits you want, you can wear all the nice clothes you want, you can go on all the nice TV sets and sit there and speak calmly and politely, but you're a sick fuck. You're a sick fuck. You know what I mean? But the way they package this, like, she says this stuff so nonchalantly, but what she's saying is so fucking dangerous, so fucking dehumanizing. And yet, because she's just like, lady, oh, she's at a conference wearing her little blue satin shirt or whatever the fuck. They're on CNN. It's all okay. And if a slightly bearded brown person says something, oh shit. They hate us for our freedoms. Hey, to them couldn't your fucking freedoms. Freedom to be fucking morbidly obese by eating all your fucking processed shit, you fuckers. Again, no offense to anyone. This is just like, no one wants your fucking freedoms. No one wants what America's selling anymore. What are you selling? What are you selling? Colon cancer, obesity, racism, capitalism. What is it you sell?
One at all. Period. We give it to them senior year and we teach them. Like, this whole not during the day, great, nice start. No smartphone at all until senior year. Dumb phone, sure. Like, but I think that we've got to like give our kids' brains a chance and their mental health a chance.
Oh my God, man. Oh my God. Literally, they want to ban phones. No phones for kids, man. Here's another fucking clip. I don't even know what she said. I just saw the title. Wake up, babe. Sarah Hurwitz just dropped another gem. 4 minutes. Fuck. Let's see what this is about.
October 7th.
But the podcast is called Being Jewish with Jonah Platt.
Happens, and I'm texting with him. I'm like, do you still want me to come? Like, what should I do? And we decided the tour would go on. And so it wasn't a response to October 7th. It was really planned beforehand, but it became a response to October 7th. And it was, I came straight from like 1997 to 2023, right, and the shock that I felt. On so many, we're very distracted by these big encampments and protests, which are terrible, of course. But
of course. Oh, we're all distracted by these huge encampments and protests, which are terrible, of course. Oh, of course. Naturally. Obviously.
much more worried about the pervasive, systemic atmosphere on these campuses, like the air kids breathe.
Yeah.
In a lot of campuses, you know, Israel is in the same moral bucket as the KKK and the Nazis, right? So if
Yep. Lady, you see, again, sometimes you feel like some Zionists are close to getting it. She's like, we're in the same bucket as Nazis and the KKK. Instead of being like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Why do people think that? It's like, maybe we should ban cell phones. Instead of, let's stop genociding Palestinians. Maybe people will stop thinking of us as the KKK or Nazis. No, the solution is, but if we take away their cell phones, maybe then.
I said to you, Jonah, look, I'm a Nazi, sure, but I'm a liberal Nazi. That's insane, right? Or, oh, I'm in the KKK, but I don't hate minorities. Like, that's monstrous. Like, come on, we're not going to have a conversation about that. And that's what I think a lot of students on campus hear when a Jewish student says, well, look, I'm a Zionist, I'm a liberal Zionist. I care about Palestinian rights. It's like Israel is now so evil, so untouchable that there's no point of contact.
Oh, I'm a liberal Zionist. I care about Palestinians. I just think that the Jews should be the supreme ethnicity and religion in Israel, and I think that Palestinians should be subjugated, and they should live in an open-air prison. They shouldn't be allowed to return to their land. They shouldn't be allowed to return to their homes. They shouldn't be allowed to be integrated within Israeli society, but I want them to be happy. I'm a liberal Zionist, okay? Does that mean that Jews should risk not being the majority in Israel? Of course not. We need to maintain a Jewish majority. Of course, it's our promised land, okay?
You can have with it, just like there's no point of contact you can have with the KKK or Nazis. And once you're in that level of irrationality, there's no conversation to be had. So many Jewish students told me they tried to meet with their classmates who were harassing them and like have a conversation, and they would be told, no, that would be normalizing Zionists. I just thought like the extremity.
Oh, he can't believe. He's like, what? What? I mean, if the Zionist student is not willing to budge, or if they're gonna be like, well, let me actually explain why people need to stay in Gaza. It's like, yeah, we don't want to have a fucking conversation with you, motherfucker.
Of this, and it's so confusing for these poor college kids because their anti-Semitism education has been Holocaust education.
Right.
So they get to campus, they're like, well, there are no Nazis here, but I feel really unsafe, and so I'm going to gaslight myself and say, well, maybe it's anti-Zionism, not anti-Semitism. And
they're gaslighting themselves. No, they're not. Lady. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. The fact that these people are like roaming free. And again, she's the Obama speechwriter. So just so you know, like when Obama, every word the Obamas fucking say, they're coming from this fucking lady. Her beliefs ebb and flow through the Obamas. He's just an avatar, a conduit for her beliefs. It's what it is.
I have to walk them through like, okay, if a classmate of yours, I was like, can I walk through your campus with a t-shirt that says, I love Israel? And they're like, oh God, no. I'm like, okay, what if a black student came to you and said,
oh my God. Of course no one should fucking wear a t-shirt that says I love Israel during a fucking genocide, no less, you fucking psycho. What kind of example is that? Would you walk with me if I wore my I love Hitler t-shirt?
okay, if a classmate of yours, I was like, can I walk through your campus with a t-shirt that says I love Israel? And they're like, oh God, no. I'm like, okay, what if a black student came to you and said, my campus is great for black students, but I can't wear my Black Lives Matter t-shirt, I'd get harassed. And the student's like, oh, that's racism, that's terrible. Great. Gay student says, my campus great for queer students, but if I wear my Pride t-shirt, I will be harassed. Like,
are gay people committing a genocide right now? Are the African American community in America committing like some kind of genocide right now where they shouldn't feel proud of wearing their Black Lives Matter t-shirt? Are gay people doing something wrong in America right now so that when they wear a gay pride shirt, they should be accused of doing something wrong? No. Republicans or insane right-wingers might have issue with that, but that's because they're fucking psychotic. But someone wearing an I love Israel shirt while Israel commits a genocide means you stand for a fucking genocide, you fucking idiot. Even I love Lebanon. If Lebanon right now was currently committing a genocide against Syria, if we were just bombing Syria and killing Syrians every day, I would not be wearing a I love Lebanon t-shirt and walking around proudly. I would kind of be ashamed of my own country, and I would be criticizing my country for what it's doing, just like I criticize my country for how it treats Palestinian refugees that are in Lebanon. Or like how I would criticize my country for how they treat workers from Ethiopia, from Sri Lanka, or from India. if my country was currently embroiled in a controversy about how we're mistreating domestic workers here in Lebanon, I'm not going to be fucking walking around with a I Love Lebanon t-shirt. I'm going to be fucking walking around with a We Need to Fix Lebanon t-shirt. You idiot, Dumbo.
It's not great. That's homophobia. That's,
Right.
So it's like, so how come if you wear your Israel t-shirt and you get harassed, you don't think that's anti-Semitism? And they're like, no, but the problem, it's not Jews, it's Israel. I'm like, okay, what if your Chinese American classmate wore a t-shirt that says I love China? Even if your classmates knew what a terrible human rights violator China is, I'm guessing they would think, well, okay, I'm sure she doesn't love the Chinese government. She's probably just passionate about her heritage, or maybe she's studying Chinese history or language. I think your classmates would give her the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
And that is not something that happens for Jewish.
Right. Yeah, bro, if you say I love Israel, it means you love the settler colonial project that says that Jews must outnumber Palestinians no matter what, essentially. Okay? That is what you love. When you say I love Israel, it says you love colonialism. You love settler colonialism. You love that Palestinians are forced to live in Gaza. You love what's happening in the West Bank. I'm sorry, you cannot divide the two anymore. You love a society where the #1 song on the Billboard charts is a song celebrating the war and calling Palestinians rats, and we're going to spit on you, sons of Amalek. That is the population that you are supporting. You're supporting a population that when they go to the Netherlands to watch a football game, they chant, there are no students left in Gaza because there are no schools left in Gaza. That's the country you want to support, you psycho.
Students. And it's Dara Horn, who's one of my best friends and an amazing Jewish author. She talks about the difference between poor anti-Semitism, which is like, you're a Jew, you're bad, I'm going to kill you. There is nothing you can do to be good. You can't convert, you're bad, I'm killing you. Whereas there's another kind of anti-Semitism, which is like, you're a Jew, you're bad, but there is something you can do to be okay. You can give up whatever it is that I, the majority, think is disgusting about Judaism. And so back in the day, you know, if you were a Jew converted to Christianity, they wouldn't kill you.
She's talking about like Judaism as if like we're going to be like, there's this thing in the Torah that I disagree with. It's like, no, straight up just stop supporting a genocidal fucking country. I don't want you to change anything about it. You want to celebrate Hanukkah. You want to do whatever the fuck it is you want to do. Go ahead and fucking do it and enjoy it. Stop supporting a fucking genocidal country. That's the only thing. No one cares about your Judaism. We care about a country that's killing people. Stop making it about Judaism. Stop making it about the religion. Look, wallahi, no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit. You are making it a thing by constantly talking about it. You are making it a thing. You're going to make people hate you just to spite you.
For some time, at least.
Yes, I have.
For a while,
If you got
maybe.
lucky.
If you got lucky, you know, you could convert. And today, I think I think about my parents' generation, the 50s, if you were a Jew and, just get rid of your last name, your nose,
Right.
your Jewy gestures, right? Be less Jewy, and then you're safe. Today, it's, get rid of your Zionism, and then you're safe. And so you see these poor kids who are like, they're like, my rabbi growing up told me Israel was great. And then I got to campus and I learned they were genocidal, colonial Nazis. I saw the light. I had an epiphany. And then I took anti-Zionism and anti-colonialism.
She's calling them these poor kids. Students that realize what Israel is actually doing and that see the light. Oh, these poor kids, they're going there loving Israel, and then they're faced with the truth and they turn on Israel. Oh, these poor children, how horrible it must be. No, actually, it's pretty based. They must be pretty happy. It must be a huge fucking weight off their shoulders. They can actually enter society and not be considered fucking freaks.
By growing up told me Israel was great. And then I got to campus and I learned they were genocidal, colonial Nazis. I saw the light. I had an epiphany. And then I took anti-Zionism and anti-colonialism into my heart, and now I'm saved. And their classmates are like, now you're saved. You're a Jew who's seen the light. And it's like...
Yeah, I'm sorry, lady. Jew, non-Jew, Muslim, Christian, any religion that is also a Zionist, any of these people that support Israel and the Zionist project, fuck them. Fuck them. No one gives a shit about your religion. Stop trying to make it about your religion. Good luck. No one cares anymore. You can shout anti-Semitism all you fucking want. Literally, no one cares anymore. You have made it that way by fucking shouting anti-Semitism at everything. There's the girl who cried wolf. Khalas, cry wolf again. Cry wolf. Again, she won't fucking stop. Look at this. So here she says, former Obama speechwriter Sarah Hurwitz says Jews were forced into taking over Hollywood and the banking sector. You made us do that. Okay, let's see. Oh my God, what?
Tell me if like Jews control Hollywood, right? Because like you made us do that.
She can't stop. This lady cannot fucking stop giving the worst fucking takes. What the fuck?
Tell me if like Jews control Hollywood, right? Because like you made us do that. I don't, it's like, I guess I would just
What?
gently push back on the idea that Jews have power in America. I think we have tremendous status. I think we have, we've certainly achieved like tremendous professional and cultural achievement. We certainly have achieved, wealth and like professional success. But I don't necessarily know, we're 2% of the population. So if the majority turned against us, I'm not totally sure what we would do, right? Like I'm just thinking about like power in very kind of.
Why do they keep talking like if the majority turns against us? Why would Americans who you've lived amongst for fucking years and decades, why are they just going to turn against you and want to fucking kill you all of a sudden? Fucking chill out a little bit. Not everyone's out to get you all the time, lady.
Practical ways. We definitely have power in Israel, like as a state, right? But I don't necessarily.
Oh, we know. We feel your power every day, lady. You can't help but fucking shoving your fucking dicks all over the fucking place and bombing every fucking country around. Yeah, we know. You like to show off your power. I bet that makes you feel fucking good. You feel safe.
I think
guys, I want to say the most horrible shit to this lady, but I'm trying to fucking resist.
Israel is like the most powerful state in the world, or all powerful. I think it's often kind of deemed the source of all the world's problems, and kind of, whereas like this is a state the size of New Jersey.
It's the source of all the Middle East's fucking problem. No one gives a fuck if it's the size of New Jersey. It's got the fucking funding and backing of the United States and all of fucking Europe. We literally spent an hour talking about what they're fucking doing to my country, you dumb fucking.
It's not. Israel is like the most powerful state in the world, or all powerful. I think it's often kind of deemed the source of all the world's problems, and kind of, whereas like this is a state the size of New Jersey. It's not. I know we think it's very important. I certainly think it's important in the scheme of the world's thing. Like I would probably focus more on like China, Russia, Iran. I think the obsession with Israel is it's a reflection of very old historical ideas about Jews.
Yeah. Israel bombs me, we can't retaliate. Because if we retaliate, we're the ones who are escalating. And if we complain, we're also being anti-Semitic. If we complain that what Israel is doing in my region where I live, so I can't do it. If I respond to Israel, if I retaliate against Israel, I'm a terrorist fuck who should be fucking killed. And if I complain, if I say like, hey, why is Israel bombing all these Middle Eastern countries? Aren't they meddling in the affairs? Then I'm a fucking anti-Semite. Maki, what do you think of all this? What do you think of this fucking quagmire we find ourselves in, Maki? We are terrorist anti-Semites just for existing. Literally, we just exist. And that's what happens to us. What do you think about that?
But I think you're, I certainly think you're right. Like what you're alluding to with like, there is this trend in history to say, I think you're old historical ideas about Jews. But I think you're, I certainly think you're right. Like what you're alluding to with like, there is this trend in history to say there is this disgusting thing, and Jews, you have to do this disgusting thing because you can't do anything else. We're not going to let you do anything else. You're going to do this disgusting thing. And then when you do it, we're going to call you disgusting. So, okay, you can't, centuries ago, Jews were not allowed to be in guilds. They were barred from many professions.
Are you talking about genocide? Genocides are what? What are you saying?
To do this disgusting thing because you can't do anything else. We're not going to let you do anything else. You're going to do this disgusting thing. And then when you do it, we're going to call you disgusting. So, okay, you can't, centuries ago, Jews were not allowed to be in guilds. They were barred from many professions, but they were allowed to do money lending, which was considered disgusting. And so they did. And people said you were disgusting money lenders. And they developed skills in finance. And so they became quite accomplished in finance and banking. And we were kind of said like, oh, you guys are disproportionate in finance and banking, right? Because you made us, right? Decades ago in America, Jews were.
I love how I've never heard anyone talk about themselves, including like her and Ethan Klein, of like how Jews are so smart and like that's why they work. And like everyone's smart. Everyone is given equal opportunity. Everyone has the same fucking level of intellect for the most part. You go to school and then you kind of end up where you end up. I've never heard like Italians be like, well, Italians are all extra smart, or like Lebanese people are all extra. Maybe Lebanese people will say that about themselves. Correction. But like I've only heard Ethan Klein and this lady be like, well, the Jews are known for being good with numbers. We're good. Like this belief that they're smarter than everyone else, it's starting to like shine through a little bit. Well, I mean, everyone knows that. Like, what was Ethan saying? The women, like Jewish women, were attracted to like the Gentiles and the ones that were reading books and studying. So Jews were smarter. They were born smarter. And this lady's like, well, they forced us to work in money lending. So by doing that, we became the best money lenders, and that's why we're more accomplished in that field. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Pushed out of the more kind of classy art forms of like theater and publishing and told, you guys, there's vaudeville, which is kind of like, crass down market. Like that's the only thing Jews can do. So they were like, okay, I guess we'll do that. And it's like, oh, you're disgusting. But then they developed into Hollywood. And suddenly it's like Jews control Hollywood, which is kind of like in publishing, we made us, right? Decades ago in America, Jews were pushed out of the more kind of classy art forms of like theater and publishing and told, you guys.
Is that real? Like, were Jews kicked out of theater and publishing?
There's vaudeville, which is kind of like, crass down market. Like that's the only thing Jews can do. So they were like, okay, I guess we'll do that. And it's like, oh, you're disgusting. But then they developed into Hollywood. And suddenly it's like Jews control Hollywood. Right. Because like you made us do that. I don't, it's like there is something to it that's a little bit cruel. This idea that like you've succeeded in this thing that we forced you into, and now we are going to condemn you for that. And that.
So I mean, literally, listen. I mean, I'm never out here saying like tropes like the Jews control Hollywood. Like you have this Jewish person right here saying that like, yeah, Jews control Hollywood because you made us do it. Anyways, fuck this lady. I'm kind of disgusted with her. Got my blood boiling enough for one day. That's a nice little tweet. So a friend of hers, Jonah Platt, says, I know Sarah Hurwitz in real life, not from a clip on social media. She is a thoughtful, inclusive, compassionate person of great empathy and integrity, whose books have been a profound gift to many, myself included. Sometimes the internet just sucks. Ahmed Rahman quote tweets and says, yeah, it's the internet that made your friend repeatedly sound like a genocidal maniac, not her own words. What a dumbass. Oh my god, he got fucking bodied with this fucking tweet. 1.2k replies to 600 likes. Jesus. She's a piece of shit human, actually. There we go. Got to Fuma Door. Someone who's more concerned with the public seething mountains of dead children than with putting a stop to the creation of such mountains is, in fact, a terrible person. Exactly. Instead of asking for the genocide to stop, she wants to stop giving kids phones. That's what she wants to do. So fuck that woman. Straight up. Here's another insane take from someone else. So Jewish Federation applauds Olivia Reingold, a staff writer at Barry Weiss's Free Press, for her reporting revealing that some of the children in Israel were starving to death and denying medical aid to in Gaza had pre-existing conditions. Oh, it's like saying shit. Goddamn, it's like saying George Floyd had pre-existing conditions. That's why he died, not because the cop put his knee on his neck. He had pre-existing conditions. He had taken fentanyl earlier. Okay, let's hear that shit out. So this is, again, another insane take by a Zionist lady, folks. Okay, that's what I was seeing online. No men in this segment today.
This is a story that I think if I were to die today would be included in my obituary. This is a story that I think if I were to die today would be included in my obituary. There was so much controversy over it, but no one has disputed the facts, which were that in 12 out of 12 instances of photos that were alleged to show starvation and famine in Gaza, we actually found that these children had really complicated medical histories. These were just the first 12 examples that we looked into that were circulating online. And I got this idea because when I started reading this coverage, this was this past August, I started to notice that the same children were being photographed over and over again, and they were often photographed by
the calmness and like the casualness in which they say all of this makes it more eerie than if it were someone that sounded like blatantly evil. Like, you know what I mean? Like the fact that she's like so casually saying it and such like, yeah, well, I mean, the fact that, she's saying such evil things in such a matter-of-fact kind of way that it is actually more disturbing to me that she's speaking that way. Does that make sense? The normalization of saying just sick shit like this and the dehumanization of sick, starving Palestinian kids is truly insane to me at this point. Like, we've been covering this for 2 years now. It's just fucking wild, man.
by different photographers, which to me suggested a level of coordination. Obviously, these children are incredibly sick and often do need specialized food, but it is a war zone, and so sometimes that
Sometimes that special food is not gonna come in, little Ahmed. Okay, sorry, little Ahmed.
specialized treatment can be hard to get a hold of. But it's way more complicated than these stories allege, and actually, because of our reporting at the Free Press, multiple news outlets had to issue corrections, but still, these images circulate online all the time and have often motivated violence against Jews.
Olivia, thank you for your work.
I love this. These ladies are on fire today. Who else? Ooh, so this is the latest edition. I saw this lady today as well. I didn't watch this clip, but she was getting shared a lot. There might be other clips of her that I missed, but I wanted to at least get one of hers today. So this is British commentator Melanie Phillips calls the Palestinian cause a threat to the West. Ooh, nice. That's nice.
Why is all this happening? Well, I think that the Palestine cause is absolutely...
Elab, goodbye. Thank you for being here for the live stream.
Why is all this happening? Well, I think that the Palestine cause is absolutely central. The Palestine cause, as we all know here, is based on nothing other than the destruction of the Jewish state, but more than that, it is also based on stealing the Jews' own history in the land from them.
Oh, yo, this shit is fucking...
But the Palestine cause has become the cause of causes in the West, which of course is in the business of destroying its own core values, which come from Judaism. No coincidence. In my view,
So the core values of the West come from Judaism. Okay. Nice.
That it is also based on stealing the Jews' own history in the land from them. But the Palestine cause has become the cause of causes in the West, which of course is in the business of destroying its own...
The cause of causes in the West, which of course... Cause of causes in the West, which of course... I like that.
The Jews' own history in the land from them. But the Palestine cause has become the cause of causes in the West, which of course is in the business of destroying...
Oh, the Palestine cause has become the cause of causes in the West, which of course... Should have said, which of course... The Palestinian cause has become the cause of causes in the West, which of course...
destroying its own core values, which come from Judaism. No coincidence. In my view, the Palestine cause is a form of holy war, Islamic holy war.
Hey, meek. Your mom's already in the grave, so my insult bears not much fruit. But fuck you anyways, you fucking bloodthirsty fucking vampire.
And it is a Trojan horse for the Islamization of the West. By adopting the language and the moral inversion of the Palestine cause, the West has bought into the agenda.
Bro. Oh my god, fuck the West, man. I'm so sorry, man. The West is so disgusting. These fucking civilized folk. Oh, we're the civilized Westerners and you barbaric Arabs. Fuck you. You can't even have fun. You people have shit food. You don't even know how to fucking cook. You have no cuisine. You fucking shit. You fucking everything is shit. You can't dress for shit. Look at your hair. Oh, I just don't be mean. 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 Stick to the food.
For its own destruction at the hands of Islam. This is a death wish by the West. And if you have a death wish, you cannot fight a death cult, which is what the West is facing in the forces of Islam. It cannot fight it because it no longer knows what it is. The West no longer has the will to defend itself because it no longer knows what that means. And insofar as it ever knew what it means, it has tried to destroy it by telling itself that the West is to be hated. This has created a vacuum into which has marched the Islamists to conquer the West because the West is paralyzed at the hands of Islam. This is a death wish by the West. And if you have a death wish, you cannot fight a death cult, which is what the West is facing in the forces of Islam. It cannot fight it because it no longer knows what it is. The West no longer has the will to defend itself because it no longer knows what that means. And insofar as it ever knew what it means, it has tried to destroy it.
Bro, these old people can't hit the grave fast enough. I'm sorry. At least young people are fucking realizing the evil shit you guys did. Anyways, one more crazy take from one more evil lady, but this time it's not in video form. It's in tweet form based on the latest Twitter controversy, by the way. She's probably some random dude living in India. But anyways, Deborah Lee says, wink, wink, the real Deborah Lee, or Deborah Lee, yeah, definitely like some puppet account in India. Anyways, she says, all burnt cars from the Nova Festival massacre. Hamas used a special liquid on 10/7 to make the fires they set hotter to incinerate all the bodies inside of them. Hamas is a genocidal jihadist terrorist cult. Strength is our legacy. Our survival is our promise. Folks, a special liquid was used. Can you imagine when people, when, you know, we know Israelis helicopter did this, but no, it wasn't Israeli helicopters, actually. It was Hamas has developed a special liquid, folks, okay? Out there in Gaza where they got nothing, they got no money for nothing, can barely afford food, they've developed a special scientific breakthrough. A special liquid that makes fires hotter, you know, to incinerate all the bodies inside of them quicker. So I love that take as well. Lovely. It's been a lovely day of takes. And that's that, folks, for Sarah Hurwitz and her crazy takes and those other ladies. Fun, good content. Good content online. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff. Oh, there's more Israel stuff. I'm just trying to think if I should do something kind of fun for a second, because this is all depressing, isn't it? Let's do a little bit of Donald Trump for a second, because it's all like heartbreaking, isn't it? Let's do a bit of Trump and then some Gaza. It's all, sorry guys. We'll do a light one. I'll react to the Michael Jackson impersonator stuff soon. Also, gaming member stream is happening tomorrow, most likely. Gaming members, I will be announcing it later tonight. Live stream tomorrow for the members. We're gonna play a game. We'll pick it together live on stream from my Steam library. So we'll do that. Do we have some fun stuff? I mean, this is kind of fun. I mean, is this fun? Not really. This is fun. Let me go to this. The Zohran Mamdani stuff. That's it. I'm not too eager on. And there's not much. Let me open up some more stuff. Mo said just got paid. Lovely day. Who just got paid? You? Mabruk. I hope you got paid. Here, let's open up some more links. Sorry, I'm just setting this stuff up. This is gonna be a bad news episode, folks. This is gonna be a shit news, okay? Depressing news, but that's what we gotta do. We're jumping straight into Gaza. Look at Maki for a second while I prep this shit. This is the last time I will say these words.
We are going to Rashid that lives on.
Shut up, motherfucker. Just going through everything, making sure the videos are good. Guten Tag. Right? Alright. Yellow line, yellow line. Guys, I can't believe this is happening. Ooh, this lady. Assalamu alaikum. My cookie came here. My cookie here to attack the boot. It's not a toy, my cookie. It's not a toy. The boot's not a toy. The boot's not a toy. It's decoration for Christmas, my cookie. We need Christmas vibes. Every year we fail to have Christmas vibes. This year, I'm gonna decorate this fucking place. Okay, my cuckoo? Ow. You just bit my finger. You just bit my finger? You just bit my finger? You just bit my fingy? Oh, shit. I can't look at this final tweet anymore. Okay. My cuckoo? Say hello to everybody. Say hello to everybody. Let them look at your pretty face. Show them your pretty face. Show them your pretty little cuckoo. Show them your pretty little cuckoo. Look at this beautiful boy. Look at this beautiful boy. You happy? Are you happy, boy? Go. Go. Hello, Nour is in the chat, folks. Nour is in the chat. All right, let's move on to some Other random tweets and news. Oh, look at little Makuki. Little Makuki. Okay. Donald Trump shares a post calling for Democratic veterans to be hanged after they urged the military to refuse illegal orders. Isn't that fucking nuts? So he retweeted this person that said, hang them, George Washington would. And then he said, seditious behavior punishable by death. Holy shit. But in lighter Trump news, folks, Donald Trump is reportedly pressing the Ellisons to make a new Rush Hour film at Paramount. Isn't that the most random thing? Donald Trump is asking for Rush Hour 4. As we've talked about many times, the Ellison, Larry Ellison, who's the owner of Oracle and the owner of Skydance and Paramount, and his son, David Ellison, who's running the whole thing, little daddy's boy, Zionist extraordinaires. Larry Ellison has donated over $16 million to the Friends of the IDF. He's in cahoots with the Israeli government. They're huge fucking pieces of shit. Okay, they're currently own Paramount and Skydance, and they're trying to acquire Warner Brothers, which is a horrible idea because they're going to control so much more media. And they're trying to get Trump to approve the sale, essentially. And now they're apparently working with like the Saudi government and Qatar to try to get more money to try to buy Warner Brothers, because like they're asking for more money. So now they're getting in cahoots with the Saudis, and like all the worst people getting together to try to buy Warner Brothers. So now Trump is trying to use that connection and leverage that connection to get a movie that he's always wanted made. Apparently Rush Hour 4 with fucking Chris Tucker, who I was very disappointed to find out that Chris Tucker has been on Epstein's plane and has been to Epstein's Island. So fuck Chris Tucker. I used to love Chris Tucker. The way he used to speak, she used to be so funny. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth when he's yelling at Jackie Chan? What the fuck is that about? So they're making a fourth one. There is no fourth one yet, guys, but they're making a fourth one. Whoops. Ooh, let me close that up. So, no, there isn't a fourth one, but they want to make a fourth one, guys. They want to make a fourth one. Franklin Goodwin says, we know about Larry Ellison from Anna Kasparian. Oh, of course we do. Bless Anna. And those situations. Another fun little update. Usha Vance has been spotted minus her wedding ring. Is this the first sign that she's leaving JD Vance after his betrayal? After him trying to get with Erica Kirk live on stage? We shan't forget this moment, folks. Impossible to forget. So wait, he's going to marry Erica Kirk, then be stepfather to Charlie's white children, parade them around as his own because he knows the MAGA racists won't vote for him with an Indian wife and kids. I don't want to go full tinfoil Yarmulke, but here, this entire thing was planned, maybe. Is he going to ditch his brown wife for a white wife and white children? Well, only time will tell, folks. Only time will tell. Yeah, people are saying Rush Hour 3 sucked. I used to love the first one, right? The second one wasn't bad too. The second one was good. The third one just felt like very delayed and it felt like random. Like it didn't feel like a proper third film in a trilogy. Should have been more epic or something. It was kind of shitty. Plus, like Brett Ratner used to fucking make those movies, man. Like Brett Ratner is also Hollywood poison at this point. He can only get work in Saudi Arabia or Dubai at this point. Any sex pest director goes to the UAE for work or Saudi. Max Blumenthal. So yeah, this is a crazy fucking video. This is from Yosef Haddad, who left an anti-Israel congressional, who left a message on Rashida Tlaib's fucking like door. Like, can you imagine any other foreign government walking around U.S. Congress and like threatening American politicians and leaving notes on their door? Look at this fucking psycho.
We are going to Rashida Tlaib's office. Arab Israelis to send her a clear message. Just wait for it. We send a clear message to Rashida Tlaib. Arab, don't support terrorism. Fuck Hamas. فهمتي؟ ولا أهون منها.
Motherfucker speaking Arabic. When he's saying Arib, it means get closer. Then he says فهمتي, which means understand. ولا أهين من هيك means there's nothing easier than this. So he's claiming as like Arab Israelis are doing this.
We are going to Rashida Tlaib's office. Arab Israelis to send her a clear message. Just wait for it.
Arab Israelis. Arab fucking traitors. عيب امك انت كمان يا غير خرا عليك وعيلتك كلها. Bet you understand that. فهمت علي يا خرا? اختك واخت عائلتك
We
كلها
send a
يا
clear message to Rashid Tlaib. قرب. Don't support terrorism. fuck حماس. فهمتي؟ ولا أهون منها.
Hey, Rafik, bro. Israelis will never fucking see you as an equal too. You'll always be an Arab to them. Here, Israelis ripping out olive trees, uprooting olive trees from Palestine. Like, and half the, they love burning olive trees. They love using white phosphorus on olive trees. But in some cases, they also know their value. So here they are uprooting trees, taking them from the West Bank to plant them in their own gardens. And you guys know how precious olive trees are for Arabs, for Palestinians. Amazing fucking olives and olive oil comes from Palestine.
עודד זית מאוד גדול, מאוד ענק. הוא מוערך בערך בין 1600 ל-1700 שנה.
They're like wrapping it with fucking saran wrap. I'll be right back, folks.
מאוד עתיק, מאוד עתיק. הוא שלם. חלול קצת מבפנים. עץ שלהם מבחינת ההיקף שלו, עץ מאוד עתיק. אתם יכולים לראות, גיש שלם. כמובן משתלת ענף הזית, נתחיל בהעתקת עצים. בעצם מי שרואה לא צריך לדבר יותר מדי. מעבירים אותנו מובילי טנקים כמובן. רואים את העגלה עומדת מחכה, זה המשאית השנייה עם העצים, תכף תסדר אותה.
Infuriating. These trees are probably hundreds of fucking years old. So many stories, so much history. Kids climbing up those fucking trees. First kisses, first loves, first novels read under their fucking shade. Poems written in red. Look at that, just being fucking stolen.
קדם בד!
Goddamn. So now we're going to talk about the yellow line, folks. This is what's been happening in Gaza. This is Gaza, the whole highlighted area. Now, the Israeli military is forcing all Palestinians to move beyond this yellow line and remain there. And this is going to become completely controlled by the Israelis, essentially. The Israeli troops to stay in this area between Israel and the yellow line. And then God knows what the fuck is going to happen in here. They're just going to drive into the sea. The Israeli socialist engineering of the Gaza Strip. There are a couple of things happening simultaneously in the Gaza Strip, all of which are odd but connected. A, Israel, through the merchants, is easing and indeed facilitating the distribution of mobile phones in the Gaza Strip at cheaper prices than usual, and of specific devices, usually the bottom tier. Quick note on these cell phones. Remember when we talked about the ease of which a bunch of cell phones have been able to enter the Gaza Strip? Like food is hard to get, chicken is hard to find, but for some reason, everyone's been able to get a fucking smartphone. Well, the Israeli government has facilitated the entry of these smartphones and distribution to Palestinians. Well, we talked about it on the stream as a Lebanese person who was in Lebanon when the pager attack happened. Lebanese people, we're done trusting any device that the Israelis could have any meddling with. There was even a report that came out a few weeks ago that we talked about on this podcast that Samsung devices, certain Samsung devices, have a pre-installed Israeli app, some kind of app store that you can't delete off your phone no matter what you do. And that application, that is Israeli, can also install software on your phone without your consent or without your knowledge anytime it fucking wants. So essentially, guys, Israel can blow up your fucking phone anytime it wants. It could probably somehow overheat the fucking battery and explode your phone in your own fucking hand. Well, anyways, we started saying that the only reason they're letting these phones in is either to obviously spy on people, record everything, know where they are, keep 100% track and tabs on them, and possibly to fucking kill them whenever they want. And there's a chance that they tested out some of these devices because 2 of these phones have fucking exploded already. This was a few days ago on November 21st. Explosion of a modern smartphone inside a store in the Nusret in the central of Gaza Strip. And then on the 24th, another one. A mobile phone exploded in the hand of a Gaza resident. This is the second case in 2 days. There is a malfunction in the mobile devices that recently entered Gaza. And these are the phones that they sent in. Insane shit, guys. And this guy's saying weapon of surveillance, Pegasus. It can Pegasus can slip into your phone without even knowing. Anyways, so these phones are blowing up, folks. It's what we said would happen, and it's happening. So back to this. So yeah, the phones. Usually the bottom tier. B, Israel is drying up the Gaza Strip from cash flow. C, banks all over Palestine, not only the Gaza Strip, are facing a new Israeli punishment system. If any transaction is used for anything Israel does not like, which it usually labels as terrorism, the bank is automatically cut from the international mesh and downgraded to a local bank. D, the yellow line control. Israel occupies the agricultural part of the Gaza Strip, and it also occupies the cross points of trade and human passages. E, the mass destruction, which is in nature systemic, happened in the east of the yellow line, which is the territories Israel occupies in the Gaza Strip, where it will introduce its new version of Gaza through donors, a Gaza that's newly built in a form that gives Israel full territorial control, security control, and built to fulfill the urbanization version of fragmented society, also known as gated communities. Israel is turning the Gaza Strip and its residents into a big data farm, where the society is controlled by their digital behavior, where they go from point A to point B, who they are in touch with, where they spend their digital money, and to whom that money goes. That requires a normalization of the digital cash that explains the inflation of mobile phones. So they're saying that these mobile phones aren't just to like track or kill these people, but it's actually to like force them to use digital currency. They're going to be completely dependent on whatever new system that they built, and phones and a digital lifestyle is somehow going to play into that, supposedly. Digital terms will define the relationship between the east and west of Gaza, which includes easy measures on one side and harsh measures on the other, to force Gazans to internally migrate from the bad side to the good side, which comes at a cost too. Trade, since the east Gaza controls the west Gaza, will also be digitally controlled. No cash, just points and credits, which will implicate the behavioral trade nature of the Gaza Strip, and not anyone can buy from the world, but some merchants that Israel clear as a whitelisted, which in turn creates tyrants and warlords who will exhibit their financial power and violence too. So Franklin says, I deleted the app off my phone. You can do it if you have a PC. I forgot it. We talked about it on a couple streams ago. If someone can find that, I do not remember what that was at all. So here is the yellow line, essentially. The concentration camp of Gaza keeps getting smaller. The population is now in 36% of Gaza, and if they cross out of the line, they get shot. Meanwhile, Israel advances that line steadily, squeezing the population into smaller and smaller parts as they prepare to steal the land for Kushner's resorts. And if anyone leaves Gaza, as you know, they have no right to return. So here you can see some of the yellow line, like basically just these yellow cinder blocks. So Israel moved to expand the area under its control in Gaza on Thursday, following yesterday's attacks that killed dozens of Palestinians, by advancing with a tank incursion in eastern Gaza City and physically moving the yellow concrete blocks that demarcate the yellow line, where its troops withdrew to last month as part of the ceasefire agreement. The blocks were moved around 300 meters westward in the neighborhoods of El Tufa and El Shujaya, according to Dropsite contributor Abd Sabbah. Before the troops withdrew, families woke up Thursday to suddenly find themselves on the wrong side of the yellow line, with the Israeli military shelling the area, causing panic and a new wave of displacement. Hamas spokesperson Hazem Qasem said in a statement that Israel is committing a blatant violation by shifting the yellow line westward, resulting in the mass displacement of our people. Qasem said the changes contravene the maps agreed upon in the ceasefire deal and called upon all mediators to pressure Israel to immediately cease the violations again. Story of our fucking lives. Israel commits violations of agreements that they've made with Hamas, with Gaza, with Lebanon, with Hezbollah. No one fucking does anything. You can call upon the international community to stop this. Who's going to stop this? The US, UN, Europe. It's over, bro. It's over. It's done. This is Israel owns the Middle East at this point, guys. I don't want to sound like a doomer, but they won. How do you defeat someone when they play by a different set of rules? How do you beat them? How do we beat them? You can't. That's it. Israel's going to do whatever the fuck they want, and if we don't let them, they're going to bomb the living shit out of us until we either get killed or do what they want. It's all that's going to happen. Netanyahu said today that the Rafah crossing, when it opens, will be for exit from the Gaza Strip. No one will be allowed to return. Again, no surprise there. Palestinians who leave Gaza will never be able to return. They know that. And look at this. Israel's National Security Minister Ben-Gvir ordered that a performance by children in the Palestinian National Theater be raided and closed down just before the children were due to perform. They're so scared that they don't even let children do theater. This man is a representative sent in by the Israeli government, by Ben-Gvir, to stop these children from doing fucking performance art. Look at these kids. They're just ready to fucking do a play. They're not even allowed to do that. Kid's crying, man. Your little kid crying. Look at him. Been practicing for months, probably weeks to do this. They got their, look at, they got their instruments. They just wanted to play. She has her oud. She's holding like her oud, which is like a traditional guitar. I think that's oud, right? Yeah. Traditional Arab guitar. What can you even say? Also, a planned protest by Israel's Sudanese population at the United Arab Emirates, so the UAE. So Israeli Sudanese people wanted to protest outside of the UAE embassy. It was forcibly canceled on Thursday, with police reportedly citing fears of disturbing the Israel-UAE relationship. So Israelis care so little about their Sudanese population, who, again, we know that the genocide that is happening in Sudan, actually 27,000 people were killed in 3 days in Darfur. So when some Sudanese Israelis wanted to protest the UAE, they weren't allowed to, because Israel is too concerned about jeopardizing their relationship with the UAE. They're so happy to normalize relations with any Arab country that would have them, that would accept them, that they literally fucking horrible. 27,000 people killed in 3 days. I cannot even fathom. That is beyond my meager human brain's ability to comprehend what 27,000 people getting slaughtered in 3 days even means or looks like. You know? So, the world is so fucked up, man. What can we even say about that? And just on a lighter note, here's Aaron Wexler, who's a like Twitter Zionist comedian. Okay, let's watch some of her comedy real quick that's been going viral online.
Assalamu alaikum, New York City. Wow. How does this room feel about Mamdani? Yeah. Oh. The way he talks, I describe it as like, it's Islamabonics. Islamabonics is the way people talk when they want to live in the high-rise luxury buildings that they also want to fly planes into, you know? Assalamu alaikum.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This person said you Islama bombed. There we go. Was this supposed to be funny or bam? Ah, the Joker. That's nice. Dude, that's so fucking bad. She has more videos. We could spend like an hour on her fucking Twitter, bro. These people walk among us. Let's see what else she shared. This is a minute long. Oh, she has a podcast? That's fucking amazing.
About 24 adults participated in what I would best describe as a public display of mental illness. They called it a 1980s aerobics demonstration. Oh, sorry. To protest an ICE detention center.
Oh, she's also pro-ICE? She's not just a fucking freak Zionist.
Okay, first, to the surprise of no one, this was in Portland, Oregon. I can smell it from here. This is the best of the Democratic Party. Some of their grandparents were on the beaches in Normandy. This will probably be next year's Super Bowl halftime show. They don't even need to open the mental institutions in Portland because the entire place is already a mental institution. Also, apparently this group is...
Oh my God, right-wing comedy is so fucking cooked. Oh my God.
Is a bunch of people from a local gym. If you're going to do this, you have to be undeniably hot. Their torsos are so square, half of them look like a potato. I'm going to vote for Trump 10 more times after watching this, just so they could feel it spiritually. Well, congrats to these people. I'm sure this worked. ICE doesn't exist anymore, and they solved world peace. About 24 adults.
And Aaron Wexler, 112K followers. You shout out this one went viral, I think, too.
It definitely helped me get my job in finance. I'm thankful. I'm thankful to my parents for this very unique name because it definitely helped me get my job in finance right in school. Like, you just know that recruiter was looking at that pile of resumes and they saw my first name and they thought, ooh, perfect, DEI hire. And then they saw my last name and knew I could actually do the job. So, you know, the why they're all...
Oh my God. A DEI joke? They thought I was a minority, so I was stupid.
So sometimes people think it's like Aryan Wexler. Aryan Wexler. Like, my last name is hiding in an attic from my first name. I'm thankful.
Oh my God. There's more. Just because something is being normalized doesn't make it normal. Well, that's a great tweet. We want your videos, lady. Show us your videos. Media. Why do non-binary women all look like Harry Potter?
Not me, not Hermione. Not me.
I mean, Jesus, lady. What's
About
that?
24 adults participated.
Is that this one?
This actually might be one of the most insane stats. Gallup just released the results of a new poll where they asked participants, would you like to leave the US? On average, 20% of Americans said yes. Oh, but wait. When it's broken down by gender, 40% of women between the ages of 15 and 44 said yes.
Oh, I didn't want to listen to the rest of her point. 21 minutes? Wait, who's that? Fuck is that?
I think you deserve help. I think your circumstance...
Come on, more jokes. Be funny.
Hello and welcome as I check my gun for my flight to San Francisco and don't get arrested. That's right, it is actually legal to fly with your gun and I'm gonna show you how. First, I made sure my pistol, which I call Mi Bonita, was
Oh my God, dude, this is not where I was expecting this video to go.
unloaded, and I tucked her safely in a hard, locked container. Of course, I packed hollows because, well, if you know, you know. And unfortunately, because I'm flying to the People's Republic of California, I had to pack a gay-ass 10-round magazine that I ordered specifically for this trip. Thanks a lot, Gavin Newsom. Anyways, I got to the check-in counter with my bag, my gun.
Guys, she said gay as a joke. She's so edgy. What an edgelord.
My dog, like a weird little country song, and I declared I was traveling with a VIP, a very important pistol. So they had me sign a piece of paper confirming that I do have a firearm. Now, every airport is a little different from here. In this case, they took me to another area where they once again confirmed I have a gun and it's unloaded and there's no loose ammo. Then they swabbed my luggage, and well, I mean, I guess if they're checking for firearms or ammo, it will come back positive. And that was it. Here I am tracking my luggage to make sure it made it on the plane, and here Mi Bonita has arrived in the hellhole of San Francisco. Got some good use out of it, plus borrowed some fun toys for my friends for...
I do not want to travel with anyone carrying a fucking gun, man. How do you let people travel with fucking guns? Every time I want to get on a plane as an Arab, they fucking swab my shoes. They got to do the whole fucking extra security check. You got motherfuckers traveling with actual fucking weapons, and it's like just a short, like an easy, oh, let's just make sure your weapon is unloaded. Or if I have something that remotely looks like a weapon, I'm on the ground. SWAT teams are called in. What are you talking about? Once I got stopped for an extra security check by the same guy at the same airport like 2 years in advance, and he recognized me. He was like, "No, you look familiar." I'm like, "Yeah, I was here last year with you." He's like, "Holy shit. Can you imagine the odds? Like, how often do you have to be stopped at an airport to come across the same security guy at the Charles de Gaulle airport in France?" Same guy. Massive airport. Charles de Gaulle is huge. I'm always stopped. Y'all motherfuckers walking around with fucking guns? Flying around willy-nilly? State to state? Same dude at Charles de Gaulle. 2 years in a row, man. That doesn't happen.
Some long-range shooting.
Oh, nice shot.
And it was the same thing in San Francisco heading back to Florida. Ironically, they're better at checking me for my constitutionally given rights than whoever is coming across their border, so go figure. And that's it. Sorry to my haters who wanted to see me in jail. Better luck next time.
Anyways. Ooh, Rabbi Shmuley. Let's watch Rabbi Shmuley giving a lap dance to a child. Israel's greatest defender, folks. Look at that. Look at that. Heathen. Degenerate rabbi. Look at that. Dude, it's fucking depraved. I don't know why these people feel fucking depraved, man. Oh my god, dude. So disgusting. Yeah, I'm sorry for the lack of warning, everyone. We got some Shmuley ass. Shmuley serving that ass. Okay, enough. We got a Bill Maher video. Okay, let's quickly do that. Noah Schnapp, Stranger Things co-star Brett Gelman says Noah didn't need to apologize for his comments on Israel and Palestine. I saw nothing wrong. He held up a sticker saying Zionism is sexy. Zionism is the belief that Israel should exist. And that's sexy to me too. Fuck you. What's his name? Brett Gelman. This guy's a big friend of, like, what the fuck's her name? The redhead. Sitcom. What's her name? Crazy pro-Israel lady. Yeah, he's friends with her. Okay, I'm not going to pause. The chat's going to give me her name in a second. Deborah Messing. He's, like, making videos with Deborah Messing and, like, Noah Tishby and stuff. He's completely part of the Israel propaganda shit. Fuck these two motherfuckers, man. God, Stranger Things. I hope it fucking flops, man. Pieces of shit. Here's Bill Maher saying that Israeli culture is basically American culture because both cherish life over death.
Always kept it real about Islam,
well,
which is another reason why the left hates me.
See?
Because, you know, they always kept it real about Islam,
well,
which is another reason why the left hates me.
See?
Because, you know, they're on the page of America, cringe, Hamas, awesome.
It's wild.
And, like, I am not there. That's the one thing that, like, I am 100% full on is the Mideast thing.
Yeah.
Like, just, first of all, just backing Israel. Like, let's not pretend that all cultures, although they're different, they're the same. No, Israel is our culture. We value life. We give women full rights, stuff like that. We're going to go with the culture that we recognize and we think is the right one. You do you.
Yeah.
And then just the way he supported Israel's solving of the problem that they were slowly being.
Look at how he's dressed. This is the culture he's talking about, by the way. No culture would allow a man to walk out of a home looking like this.
Surrounded by proxies of Iran. And just like Michael Corleone in the last reel of The Godfather, he took out all the enemies, settled all family business, Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis and then Iran itself. We're
all resistance. I'm too tired.
Gonna do.
It's late here. What time is it? It's 11:30 p.m. How long is that? I was streaming for 2 hours and 20 minutes. We could keep this one short. Would you guys be down for another Michael Jackson impersonator stream? I have to watch that whole live stream between the two Michael Jacksons. Also, we're planning a tier list this week with the rest of the crew with Nour and Karine. So hopefully we're going to come at you with a tier list. Tomorrow there's going to be a gaming member stream, and probably there's going to be like 1 or 2 gaming live streams this week. Lots of fun stuff coming up this week, folks. Lots of fun stuff. Who's saying no? No for the Michael Jackson stuff? The MJ impersonator arc is not for me, but hope you have fun with it. Oh, yeah, that one's a personal one. I'll watch it with the 6 people who want to watch the Michael Jackson impersonator thing. So, no pressure. Hey, check Bill Maher, folks. I fucking hate Bill Maher. Yves Jabran, you're right. Fuck Bill Maher. Fuck that motherfucker. We're going to cut this one short tonight, folks. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the well wishes for Lebanon and stuff. There was a few other topics that I wanted to talk about. Let me see. That I'm not going to have time for today. We talked about all the Zionist stuff. We talked about Trump. Frozen 4. You know what? Let's talk about Frozen 4 real quick. Nah, fuck it. Frozen 4 salaries are crazy. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate y'all. Everybody who donated. Nola and Jim, thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships. Chris, thank you so much for all the generous donos today. Chris is going crazy in there. Jim as well. Everybody who donated today. Much love to you. I hope you guys had a good time. Maki's not here, but Santa Claus is still here. Look at our little Santa. Little Christmas decorations. We got a Christmas budget here. Christmas budget, folks. And don't forget the elf right behind me. Little elf right there. Why is it so hard to point? Elf. And our membership goal. Thank you so much. We're at 368 members. To all our lovely members. We love you. I will see you tomorrow. Subscribe to the gaming channel. The link is pinned on top of the live chat if you want to spend some time with gaming tomorrow. Exclusive for members. It's going to be a nice, fun time. Much love to all. We will have some more fun live streams this week. Casual, fun, chill stuff. Is H3 streaming today? What are they up to? Is he going after iDubbbz? My God, he's talking after iDubbbz. Isn't he? Oh no, Mr. Beast, Land Disaster, Miskif Suze Emeru, and OTK. Oh, he's going after MBS. Look at that. Ethan Klein going after. Look at their thumbnail. They're going after Saudi Arabia. Pretty cool. Anyways. Ooh, sorry. One sec. Irene the Dream. I got something for you. I don't want to do this anymore just because I think we've overdone it. But I saw Irene asking for this in the chat. She's not been feeling great. So Irene, one of the last times you're going to play this song.
It's the final day, but he's really not afraid. Got a lot of money, but you know he's on his way. But you know I'm still the same. Might have lost my taste. California dreaming, yeah, I'm headed to LA.
Oh my God, Irene said I lost my mom unexpectedly. It's been the hardest week of my life. Holy shit, Irene, that is horrible. I'm so sorry. I cannot even imagine what that must be like. Genuinely, that RIP for your mom. What's your mom's name, Irene? Please let us know in the chat. What was your mama's name? That is oh my God. If I lose my mom, you know, it will be the hardest thing in my life. My whole fam, you know. Betty. Guys, I want hearts in the chat. W's in the chat for Betty. Betty's no longer with us, but she's with us. Because to live in the hearts we leave behind is to never die. Take it away, Dating and Money.
California know you can find it in LA. Again, 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 again. If you wanna see me, meet me on the boulevard. Oh shit, fuck. I need a new guitar. Living in Cali, you know we going hard. Everything we do for the shooting stars. It's the final day, but he's really not afraid. Got a lot of money, but you know he's on his way. But you know I'm still the same. Might have lost my taste. California dreaming, yeah, I'm headed to LA.
Chris, to be exact, I need 393 more subs for me to sing this song live. Guys, we're gonna end this stream in dedication to Irene's mom, to Betty. This one goes out to Betty. Betty, we hope wherever you are, you're watching over Irene and the rest of us. Irene, super sorry for your loss. We love you so much. The whole community's here for you. Discord's here for you. We're here for you. Whatever you need, the community's got your back no matter what. You're not alone. Nothing we say is going to make this extremely difficult time be any less difficult. But you have some friends by your side, you know, to try and make it a little bit easier. You know. And also to quote one of my favorite lines ever. Weirdly enough, it came from a TV show. I don't want to fuck up the quote. Just 1 second. What was it? It was in WandaVision. Well, the Vision says about grief. What is grief? Again, this line came from from a sentient android in a Marvel Disney Plus series. But when Vision and Wanda are talking about like grief and stuff, Vision says, "But what is grief, if not love persevering?" God damn. What is grief if not love persevering? So all of that pain you feel, all of that grief, it's just love. It's just love expressing itself. It's you expressing your love in another way. But anyways, everybody, good night. Much love. Jim just shared the link to the Discord. Everybody get in on that Discord. Good night, everyone. And as always, do not